After a sluggish start, the Xenia Scouts were able to put 3 runs on the board in the bottom of the 8th inning yesterday against the Cincinnati Steam to get that 3-2 victory. Hello, everyone. I am Terry Lash alongside my broadcast partner, Lance Morris, and we are here at Bob Wren Stadium down in Athens, Ohio, home of the Southern Ohio Copperheads, for some Great Lakes Collegiate action. As Xenia Scouts come in today with an 18-13 record, third in the league standings, and the Southern Ohio Copperheads come into today with 15-11 record, fourth in the league standings. Winner of today's contest will get that coveted third spot. Today on the mound for the Xenia Scouts will be a bit of a surprise as Nick Street will get his 4th appearance of the year, his first start. Only has a limited amount of innings in action. And Lance, a little surprised to see Nick grace the rubber?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a surprise just because we talked about it the other night when he could potentially go in against the Steam. He hasn't really seen much in-game action in the variety of close ball game. Usually when he's in there, it's already out of hand, so it's just to get a couple innings of work in. So today we're going to see at least an inning or so of Nick Street against some live baseball.
And here comes the first pitch at 5:37. Lee Solomon shows bunt, pulls back. That one's in there anywhere for a strike. Counts now 0-1 to Lee Solomon. Second pitch from Roscoe Blackburn, who's on the mound for the Copperheads today. Second one also in there for a strike. We'll be looking at the first couple of pitches. Blackburn from Malone College up in Canton, Ohio. Here comes the 0-2. That one misses outside. 1-2 count now. We have a skew view on the webcam today. You got beautiful Bob Wren Stadium. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Down one swung and head to center field. And it'll be put away by Chris Osborne. So 1 up, 1 down as the flyout from Lee Solomon starts the game for the Navy and Gray of the Xenia Scouts.
A little bit of a different starting lineup today. Miles Wright getting the spot at the number 2 hole in the order, was the leadoff guy last night.
For the Copperheads, it's Stephen Hernan behind the plate, only his 3rd game with the team. Infielders Charlie Waters, Trevor Ezel at second, Waters first, Joe Becht at short, and Tony Giannini at third as Miles Wright steps up to the plate. Miles batting .265 on the year. Here comes his first pitch. That one in there for a strike, 0-1. Roscoe Blackburn. This is his 5th start of the season. Here comes his 0-1 pitch. That one is at high in the sky. Waters will get under it and put it away. So 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Xenia Scouts. Try to add some speed to the top of their order with Lee Solomon and Miles Wright in the 1-2. That's going to bring up Christian Binger.
It's 2 flyouts for the Scouts to start off this ball game. We'll have to see if Blackburn continues that trend throughout this contest.
Gloomy day here in Athens, Ohio. We'll keep track of the weather forecast. Hopefully he can get this full game in before the rain. First pitch to Binger bounces high in the sky off of the dirt towards the backstop. 1-0 now to Christian.
Binger 4 for 10 so far against the Copperheads.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Blackburn. That one outside corner for a strike. Now 1-1 to the second baseman, Christian Binger, the league leader in walks. Here comes Blackburn's 1-1. That one is going to be driven foul to the left side. 1-2 now from the lefty. Roscoe Blackburn has a 2.57 ERA and a 1-1 record through his 4 starts. Here comes his 1-2. That one curves outside. Took someone off on that changeup, so 2-2 now to Christian Binger with 2 outs. Scoreless here in the top of the first inning between the Xenia Scouts and Southern Ohio Copperheads. Here comes the 2-2 from 22. That one curves a bit low. Just misses the zone, and it's going to be full now to Christian Binger.
And you always know Binger's going to be patient up there at the plate, regardless of the count, working it back to 3-2.
So full count. Here comes the wind and payoff pitch. That one a bit low, and Christian Binger walks again. He's been a walking man this year.
He's a quarter of the way to the century mark now with 25 walks on the season.
That's a lot of free feet for Christian Binger as he takes his 90-foot stroll. That's going to bring a Kyle Carnahan to the plate. Batting .274 on the year and has been dynamite recently. Places a Binger at first, does Roscoe Blackburn on the mound. Quickly rises and fires. That one's fouled backwards. Mr. Hot Corner Kyle Carnahan, who's getting his 32nd consecutive start at third base tonight, goes down 0-1.
Yeah, Kyle's been a permanent fixture over there at third base. Only guy to play every single game after David Gaunt got the off day on Saturday against the Steam.
David Gaunt sitting on deck right now. The Washburn-Ichabod duo. Because 0-1 to Carnahan. That one's driven towards shortstop. Joe Beck picks up, throws it to Trevor Ezel underhand. And that's going to do it for the top of the first inning after a fielder's choice puts away Christian Binger. So the Scouts sent 4 to the plate. Only a walk from Christian Bingers, the lone base runner. We're going to the bottom of the first inning. A 0-0 game between the Scouts and the Copperheads, and we're seeing the first start of the season from Nick Street.
Yeah, like we said, Nick has gotten a couple appearances on the season, but those mostly games that are already out of contest. The Scouts already had been behind in all of those games by at least 5 to 6 runs, if not a little more. So this is going to be the first time we're going to see Nick Street against some live competition. And he looked good in his last couple relief appearances, so we'll see if that can translate to today's start.
Nick Street coming off of a torn labrum surgery. Might have some velocity taken off, still working his way back. He's right around the 11th month point of the rehab process off of labrum surgery. We talked to Nick as soon as we got here to Xenia. He said he was around the 10th month point then, so it was a little premature when he would get on the mound earlier this year, but he's getting right to the point where he should be starting to see some competitive live action. That's why we see him on the mound tonight, and as Lane said, looked very good in his last appearance.
But in all of those appearances, we only saw him for an inning at most, so we'll see what the leash is, because we don't really know quite what to expect with Nick here today.
Last 2 appearances gone pretty well for Street. Last time was against the Lima Locos on July 5th. In that game, pitched 1 inning, gave up a couple of hits, and that was it. And before that was on June 30th, down in Hamilton against the Joes. In that game, he pitched a full inning and didn't give up any hits in that contest. So we'll see what Nick Street has in store for these Copperheads. And Lance, what's the side coming up for Southern Ohio?
It'll be Trevor Ezel and Jason Sukanik and Tony Giannini.
So Trevor Ezel coming up to the plate from Southeast Missouri State, one of a few Redhawks. First pitch curves inside for a ball. 1-0 now from Nick Street. Nick's about to go to Grand Valley State after transfer from Owens Community College. His second pitch is outside and low to Zach Wiley, who's behind the dish tonight. One of those 3 Scouts catchers in their rotation. Carnahan third, Solomon short, Binger second, Giddings on first. That one curves a bit high, just missing the zone, so quickly 3 straight balls from Nick Street, and you have to wonder, in his first legitimate action here of the year, and here comes his 3-0. And that one misses, so a 4-ball walk to Trevor Ezel. If Coach Cates is going to have a quick leash on him, we'll have to keep in check with the Scouts' bullpen throughout the day.
And you just got to kind of watch how Nick's arm angle looks. When he keeps it up high, he tends to just kind of drop it down right before the pitch, and he just kind of lofts it in there. But when he actually stays with it, you see a pitch like we saw on that last ball 4.
Yeah, here comes Jason Sukanik, the left fielder from Xavier. That one in there for a strike. First strike of the day for Nick Street in his first start. Came in today with a 7.44 ERA. This is his 5th appearance of the season. 3 2/3 inning pitched on the year. That one goes a bit high. 1-1 now to Sukanik.
Said he was throwing in the mid-80s before he got here, so that was when he was still, of course, recovering. So if we can see him get back to that top speed, we can see it right around mid-80s.
Ezel gets his big lead. That one just misses inside. Missing that inside corner on the curve, so now it's going to be a 2-1 to the Musketeer, Jason Sukanik. Ezel on first after being walked, shows bunt. Zach White throws first after the ball. Giddings picks it up, but no play over there at first base, so 3-1 now for Jason Sukanik. Nick Street trying to avoid walking the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the first inning. It's a scoreless ball game here at Bob Wren Stadium. Here comes the 3-1. Ezel's on the move. Wiley's going to try to gun him down, but not nearly in time as the strike was called. It was on the outside corner, but throw a little bit off. It's going to be a stolen base from Ezel.
That'll be Ezel's 6th steal on the season.
Full count now. First of the day for Street to Jason Sukanik. A right-hander, righty versus righty battle. He winds and fires. That one's going to be driven towards center field. Levi Gilcrease on his horse. Can't make the play. He's going to third. And that single is going to advance Jason Sukanik. I thought we might see a throw from Gilcrease towards Carnahan at third, but he bites it, throws it in to the cutoff man, Christian Binger. So now runners on the corners for the Copperheads with no outs. Nick Street in some danger here in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, Levi was just playing a little too deep on that one from Sukanik. He just blooped that one into short center field and tried to dive and get to that and caught it on a hop. Wasn't able to get under it for the out, and that advances Ezel to third.
That's right. Tony Giannini and Steele is going to be in there plenty of time. And second stolen base of the inning. This one from Sukanik. Got a good jump on Street.
And with the way Nick's throwing, it's pretty easy to get a jump if he can't hold the runners on the base pass. So an easy jump there from Sukanik.
0-1 now to Tony Giannini from right here in Ohio, and he hits him. Gets him on that right shoulder.
And Ben's getting up already, so could be a short day for Nick. We'll see.
So bases are loaded, and Lance is right. Ben Aldridge going to the pen right now. Lincoln Reed will follow to catch him. So 3 batters up, 3 batters on. As Kyle Carnahan talks to his pitcher, and Kale Gideon is going to give him some words as well. A walk to Trevor Ezel, a single to center from Jason Sukanik, and then Tony Giannini. An 0-1 pitch takes it off the shoulder and now stands on first, and that's going to bring up Tyler Pagano, right fielder from Oakland University. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. 0-1 now. Comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be chopped and into fair play. Nick's going to throw it to Wiley at home plate, and it's going to be a force out. A very strange ball there. Just kind of died in the dirt right between Zach Wiley and the catcher Zach Wiley and Nick Street, who made the play from the mound, and I was able to force out Ezel.
The most important part of that play is Nick played it about as perfect as he could. It just barely got out in front of Wiley behind the plate. Nick was able to field his mission, flipped it over to Wiley in time to get the force out at the plate. So still a scoreless ball game, but still have the bases loaded with 1 down.
That's going to bring up Brett and Pemba, the designated hitter, second consecutive Oakland Bear we've seen. And here comes the first pitch to Impemba. That's going to be driven towards Cale Giddings. He's going to step on first. And that's going to be a force out. It's going to give a run. You have to wonder why he didn't throw home for the force out. So, RBI put out for Brett and Pemba makes this a 1-0 game.
And yeah, Cale, I think, was a little indecisive once the ball got to him at first. So after taking a little too long to think it over, just had to go over to first and make sure they at least got 1 out of that play.
Thought he tried to go a 3-2-3 double play in that situation, but runners on second, third now. In there for a strike to the new batter, Chris Osborne. Center fielder from Southeast Missouri State, the second Red Hawk we've seen here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 Copperheads, 2 outs to Nick Street in his first start. Second pitch is outside for a ball. 1-1 now to Osborne, who's batting .276 on the year.
Osborne 1 for 8 against the Scouts.
Gone on second, Giannini on third. 1-1 pitch is in the dirt and checked by Osborne, so now he's 2-1 in this count. Still no rain here at Bob Wren Stadium. It's in the forecast as rain has covered Ohio yet again in this wet summer. Here comes the 2-1 from Nick Street. Now he's going to chop it in. Gets it back to him. Throws to Cale Giddings, and after loading the bases with no outs, Nick Street gets out of some danger, gives up 1. You have to consider that a victory for Nick Street as Osborne grounds out to him.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Nick didn't have his best stuff that inning, looked a little shaky depending on the pitch, had some pitches that were much better than others, but great job building his position at 6'6", the tallest pitcher on the Scouts pitching staff, and he made 2 good plays in the field that prevented more runs coming across from the Copperheads. So good job through 1 inning of work to limit the damage to just 1, and it could have been 3 easily.
Yeah, it could have. It also could have been 0. You have to remember back to Cale Giddings. If he goes home right away on that grounder to him from Brett and Pemba, this could still be a scoreless ball game, folks. We'll have to see how that comes into play throughout this contest. But we'll head to the top of the 2nd inning here in Athens, Ohio, as the Scouts couldn't get a hit back in inning number 1. We'll see what they can do here in the top of the 2nd. And Lance, what's the side coming out for the Navy and Gray?
For the Scouts, it'll be 5-6-7. It'll be led off by David Gaunt. He's 4 for 12 against these Copperheads, with one of those home runs being right here the last time these 2 teams played at Bob Wren Stadium. Then it'll be Cale Giddings. He's 2 for 4 against the Copperheads, and also he is a transfer from Akron University, and he said that he had one of his better games as a freshman right here on this field, so we'll see if he can have a little deja vu here at Ohio University. And then it'll be Levi Gilcrease. He's 5 for 13 against the Southern Ohio Copperheads so far this season.
Copperheads in their home orange and white pants with the green numerals and letters. Coach Zach Gilcrease goes to his first base coaching box, and Coach Bubba Cates in his third base coaching box. For the righty, David Gaunt, his home run last time went to left field, deepest ballpark in the Great Lakes League here at Bob Wren Stadium, 340 to left and right and 405 to dead center. Here comes the first pitch to Gaunt. That one in there for a strike. Scouts down 1-0 here in the top of the 2nd inning. David Gaunt, the first batter of the inning. 0-1 pitch, and that one's low from Roscoe Blackburn, who didn't give up a hit in his first inning of work, only walked Christian Binger. Here comes the 1-1. That one low as we see the dirt fly up on the webcam. So 2-1 now to David Gaunt.
Well, been struggling as of late, but still has a .313 average to lead the team.
Here comes the 2-1. And that one gets the outside corner for a strike. Evened up at 2-2. The lefty winds and delivers. That one's we chopped over towards Becht at short. Throws to first, and Waters digs it out in time and puts away David Gaunt. Good job by Charlie Waters there, as that one was one hop to him. Dig it out of the wet soil and put away the first fast batter of the top of the 2nd inning.
Gaunt made that a closer play than it needed to be, because like you said, not a perfect throw there from Beck, as Waters had to almost get off the base, and the field umpire said he just was able to keep his foot on the bag for the first out.
Here comes the big man. Cale Giddings chops that one backwards, fouls it into the black netting in front of us. Again, our view a little left center tonight. That's why it's a little different on the webcam than is back home at Grady's Field. Scouts down 1-0 here in the top of the 2nd. 1 out. Here comes 0-1 to Cale Giddings. Swung on, chips that one back to the backstop as well. So 2 foul balls from the big man from Lake Erie College, Cale Giddings.
And just like back at home at Grady's Field, a very large backstop here.
Blackburn steps off the rubber, calls a meeting with his new catcher, Stephen Hernan. Looks like they reconvened, and we're going to do it again. 0-2 for Cale Giddings after the meeting between Hernan and Blackburn. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. Now once we chopped high towards Blackburn, picks it up towards third base, throws to first, and just in time gets Cale Giddings. And now the Scouts are 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 2nd.
So in the first inning we saw a couple fly ball outs. This inning we see a couple ground ball outs. Just different ways that Blackburn can work out there on the mound.
Scouts still looking for the first hit. Here in the top of the 2nd, Levi Gilcrease at the plate. First pitch from Blackburn to be swung on and fouled back into the netting. A little under that one, was a little late as Gilcrease grabs the dirt to tighten his grip. Scouts with an 18-13 record coming to the day. Copperheads 15-11. Scouts play more games than anyone else in the league. 0-1 pitch. That one's a bit low. Even up at 1-1. As back home at Grady's Field, the Scouts have not missed a single ball game due to cancellation. Weather doesn't really affect field turf. And we're doing a makeup game today. Here comes the 1-1. That one inside corner. Levi Gilchrist thought it was very inside. Disagrees. 1-2 count with 2 outs. So in steps the righty again. Here comes the throw from the lefty. That one's way up top, hitting the ceiling. So 2-2 now to the Baylor Bear, Levi Gilchrist. Blackburn pitches from the windup. He winds and delivers. That one's going to be fouled out of play to the right side towards one of many Copperheads workers here as a staff crew member in his orange shirt was able to catch that ball on the fly and gets a rousing ovation from all the other staff in attendance here today at Bob Wren Stadium. Here comes the 2-2 again. And that one inside corner for a strike gets Gilchrist looking, and the Scouts will be set down 1-2-3.
That'll be Levi's 37th strikeout on the season. That leads the team and the entire league.
Well, Gilchrist, strikeout woes continue as the lights are on here at Bob Wren Stadium. We're going to the bottom of the second inning, and we will see Nick Street again. Back in the top of the first inning. Nick put the first 3 batters on to load the bases, and we saw Ben Aldridge warming up. I don't know if we'll see Nick's day ended early. This is his first start of the season. Most he's ever gone in a single game was 1 inning, so if he gets 1 batter out, this will be his largest stint of the year. Again, recovering from a torn labrum, still rehabbing it, getting back into playing shape this summer. The big righty, a Michigan native. One of 3 Michigan native pitchers on the team. And Nick Street, the tallest player on this team, as Lance mentioned earlier, stands at 6'6". Went to Owens Community College, right down the road from where Lance and I go to school in Bowling Green State University, not too far from Toledo, is Owens Community College, and now will be playing his college ball at Grand Valley State, which is in Michigan.
Yeah, Nick went to Grand Valley State this past year, but was a full-time student, also had a full-time job, so wasn't doing anything baseball related with their team. He was not on the roster. He hopes to make their roster this coming season.
And Lance, what's the side coming up here in the bottom of the second inning for the Copperheads?
For the Copperheads, it'll be 7, 8, 9. It'll be Stephen Hernan, their catcher from Otterbein. It'll be Joe Becht, the shortstop from Santa Clara, and Charlie Waters, the first baseman from Stetson.
So here's the first throw to Hernan. That one stays up top high for a ball. 1-0 from Nick Street. Scouts trailing the Copperheads here in the bottom of the second, 1-0 after 1 across. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Street. That one drops in there for a strike. 1-1 now to the new catcher here in the orange, green, and white of the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Stephen Hernan is a 1-1. That has the inside corner as well. Last 2 pitches dropped into that zone. Now Nick is ahead. 1-2 against the first batter here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 1-2. Now once we line towards Carnahan and past Carnahan into left field. Wyatt Hogan in left field today picks it up. And it'll be a leadoff single to start the bottom of the second inning for Stephen Hernan. So second hit of the day given up by Nick Street as Joe Becht walks to the plate, the lefty. Haven't seen many lefties on this Copperheads team. Pick off attempt towards first, and Cale Giddings back in plenty of time is Stephen Hernan. Hernan from Otterbein College. Outside Columbus, the Cardinals. We've seen plenty of players from Otterbein here in the Great Lakes League. First pitch inside to Joe Becht, well inside. Didn't move on that one.
You got to think Scott's fortunate that Hernan doesn't have a lot of speed over there at first. Otherwise, you'd think he could time up Nick's release.
And here comes the 1-0. Now, and just misses outside. 2-0 now to Becht. Not a lot of speed from Hernan, but a lot of speed at the plate in Joe Beck. Let's try to steal on nearly half the times he's been on this year. And here comes that 2-0. Oh, he's going to hit towards Giddings at first. Throws to second. Back to throw to first from Solomon is in time. 3-6-1 double play as we saw the move from the big man. Nick Street, the 6'6" righty on the mound, got there just in time to beat out Joe Beck. And great play in the field.
That was a heads-up play by both Street and Giddings. Giddings takes a ground ball, and looks over, realizes he has enough time to convert the double play, even if he's not going to be covering first. Nick Street sees that and immediately runs over to first and gets there just in time to convert the double play to make it just 1 out remaining here in this inning.
First pitch inside for a ball to Charlie Waters, the first baseman from Stetson College down in Florida. 2 down here. 1-0 Copperheads, bottom of the second. And that one curves in for a strike. We've seen a lot of movement, a lot of breaking balls from Nick Street.
And he's got to have a lot of breaking balls because his fastball doesn't have a lot of speed on it yet with his arm angle.
1-1. That one's being hit to deep left field, but foul. Would most likely hit that 340 wall. That's why Hogan patrolling left today. Gilcrease in the center, Miles right, in right. 1-2. Street, 1 strike to get out of the second inning. Here comes that pitch. That one's going to be foul to the left side again. This one on the ground. Bounces right past the Copperheads dugout on the third base line, and we'll do it again at 1-2 to Charlie Waters. Bit of a muggy day here, a lot of humidity down in Athens, Ohio. You see the University of Ohio's campus in the backdrop. The Convocation Center all the way back in right field in the distance. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Street. That one well inside, evened up at 2-2.
And after Waters fouls off a couple of pitches, you got to throw him something out of there just to make sure he's not getting everything you're seeing.
2-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Street. That one's going to be flown out to left field. Wyatt Hogan on the move. And we'll put it away. So a 1-2-3 for inning for Nick Street. Steven Herning gets on with a single, then a 3-6-1 double play on a heads-up play from the big man, Cale Giddings. Finished off by the other big man, Nick Street. Put 2 down, and then the high fly ball to Wyatt Hogan in left field ends the inning. And after 2, the Scouts trail 1-0.
That's exactly what you hope for with getting Nick Street out there for his first start of the season, his first true action on the year. And it looks like Coach Case has pointed the bullpen, so I think we might see Ben Aldridge come in next inning, but we'll wait until that inning starts before we let you know if that's official. But if that is the case, then that's about as much as you could expect from Nick Street. We only had seen him pitch in single-inning outings every single time he's came in, and that was in outings where the game was already well out of hand. So if Nick does finish with just going 2 innings, only allowing the 1 run, which could have well been 0 runs, could have easily been 3 or 4 as well. So that's about all you can expect from Nick in his first start of the season.
Yeah, before today, the most he's gone in a single appearance was 1 inning. So double that in today's start. As he has his hoodie on his right shoulder, I don't know if that's an indication that his day might be done. But we'll see. As Ben mentioned, Coach Case signaling earlier to Ben Aldridge, maybe get warmed up in the pen, as we do see some action out there right now. We did see Ben last night close out the game against the Cincinnati Steam. He got his second save of the season as he struck out 3 batters to close out yesterday's contest.
And the last time we saw Ben on the mound in a starting role, that was against Licking County Settlers a few days ago. He went 7 innings and really would have kept going if it weren't for a giant 7-run inning in the 8th inning on that night. So Ben, in his last start, was very, very good.
So here comes Zach Wiley to the dish. First pitch to him from Blackburn is a bit low, 1-0.
Wiley will lead off this inning, then it'll be Wyatt Hogan, and back to the top in Lee Solomon.
1-0 Copperheads lead here in the top of the third. No outs. Second pitch to Zach Wiley is well outside, so 2-0 now to the catcher from Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. So here comes the 2-0 to Wiley. And that one misses outside as well. Blackburn struggling a little bit to start the third inning. So I have to imagine the catcher will be taking here. 3-0 pitch. And that one misses outside, so 4 straight balls to Zach Wiley will put him on.
So that'll be Wiley's 6th walk on the season.
That's going to bring up Wyatt Hogan, who's a man familiar to walks as well, especially as of recently. He had 2 down at McLeary Field back on Saturday night against the Steam. That brought his total on the year to 11. Gained the role in the 9 spot in today's lineup. Here comes the first pitch to Hogan. And that one misses outside. 1-0 now from Roscoe Blackburn, who's thrown 5 straight balls. Still yet to allow a hit, though. He's had 2 walks on the day. 1 strikeout. Swung and missed. Big swing from Hogan. Last time we were here, remember White had a couple of nicely hit balls that were on ropes, but were just put away by the Copperheads defense. When I talked after the game, why can't I get a hit, Terry? And next game he did very well after putting some balls in contact against Lorain County Ironmen. The Scouts will be in action against tomorrow at Grady's Field at 7:05. We saw that pickoff attempt from Blackburn. Wiley back in plenty of time. 1-1 count to Wyatt Hogan. 1-0 Copperheads. No outs. Runner on first, and Zach Wiley. He shows bunting, and it was head back towards us. That's a one-handed catch here in the stands. I see a Red Hawk Southeast Missouri State hat. I have to imagine that could be a parent of either Trevor Ezel or Chris Osborne. So 1-2 now to Wyatt Hogan. Zach Wiley on first. No outs. 1-0 Copperheads. Here comes the throw. That one's going to be fouled out of play. Waters goes chase, but that one well out of his big reach. We'll do it again at 1-2. Scouts winners of 2 straight against the Cincinnati Steam, an 11-10 offensive explosion on Saturday night down in Cincy. And yesterday we were able to squeak out a 3-2 victory after Will Cruz went 8 innings strong to pick up the victory. Here comes the 1-2 from Blackburn. That one's hit towards left field. And that one's going to drop foul. Giannini gave it chase. Sucana gave it chase, but there's too much space out there. And again, we'll do it at 1-2. Wyatt Hogan's playing left field today, and we've seen him mainly in left field as Cale Giddings and Lincoln Reed have kind of established themselves as the only first baseman on the team.
Yeah, Wyatt's seen limited time at first base. He's been primarily used as one of the left fielders. Left fielder has been the primarily spot in the outfield that has became rotating between mostly him and Bravo.
1-2 count. Here comes the pitch, and that one's hit towards right field. Pagano is going to get under it, and they're in plenty of time. So the first out here in the top of the third inning. Zach Wiley will scamper back to first base as Wyatt Hogan goes down. It's going to have Lee Solomon with Miles Wright on deck. Scouts trailing 1-0 with 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Zach Wiley on first base after he was walked to start the inning. Roscoe Blackburn in his 5th start of the season for the Copperheads. And here comes Solomon. Swung and missed. Big swing from Lee. We saw him hit his 2nd homer of the season against the Steam on Saturday to lead off that contest.
And he should have had one the night before against these same Copperheads. It just barely went foul.
0-1 now to Lee. Now once we tip backwards into the net so quickly, the shortstop from Lipscomb University, Nashville, Tennessee, is down 0-2. Lee originally from Columbus, Ohio, to Columbus Academy in Gahanna, Ohio. Wiley on first, shows his move, 0-2 pitch. And once we chop towards Giannini at third, he'll throw to Ezel at second, and in time to get Solomon at first. So a 5-4-3 double play will end the inning, and usually don't see Lee Solomon getting doubled up because he has so much speed. And that will do it for the top of the third inning. Still no hits on the board for the Xenia Scouts.
Yeah, Scouts have definitely been struggling the last couple of innings, going down 1, 2, 3 in the second and the third. And they only got on in the opening inning because of a walk from Christian Binger, and Ben Aldridge is walking out center mound, so he will come in to replace Nick Street.
So Nick Street goes 2 innings strong, gives up 1 earned run, a couple of hits, and has 1 walk. But overall, you have to be pretty excited about that appearance, don't you, Lance?
Yeah, you really do, because like we mentioned earlier, didn't have a lot of meaningful innings coming into the day. Really can't say he had any truly meaningful innings. It was meaningful for him in the fact that he was getting to see some live action, but those were games where it was well out of hand for the Scouts. They were trailing by at least 5 runs in each of those contests. So to come out today, start the game, gives up just a 1 earned run in the opening inning. Can't say too much more other than a great start from Nick that he can definitely build on going forward. Maybe not this summer, but building in towards his next season at Grand Valley State.
That's going to bring in Ben Aldridge, who's familiar to Bob Wren Stadium, as he started the last game down here in Athens, Ohio. Went 5 innings, did pick up the loss in the Scouts' 2-3 loss on that night back on June 12th. He gave up 3 earned runs and 8 hits and had 3 walks. Also had 7 strikeouts. Ben tied for third in the league in strikeouts with 33 on the season coming into today. This will be his 12th appearance, his 8th out of the pen. He has a 2.36 ERA and also a couple of saves through 38 innings pitched. So Ben has been one of the best pitchers on the staff. So and Lance and I have been talking about maybe has a shot at getting one of the league nominations for the All-Star game, which is coming up a week for tomorrow.
Yeah, for Ben, it's really just strange how his season has gone. He's been a middle reliever, he's been a starter, he's been a reliever, he's been a closer. He's done literally just about every single pitching thing you can do for the Scouts.
First pitch to lefty Ezel in there for a strike.
After Ezel, it'll be Jason Sukanik and Tony Giannini back to the top of the order.
Second pitch is foul backwards, a much different approach from Nick Street to Ben Aldridge. Nick Street was trying to finesse it. We saw a lot of breaking balls due to his labrum surgery and still working his rehab stints. And now quickly 0-2 from the fireball, throwing Ben Aldridge as the 0-2 pitch is going to be fouled towards the Copperheads bullpen and fouled toward Terry outside of left field.
You definitely got to think that's going to be a big adjustment for these Copperhead hitters.
Ben from the windup, he throws, and that one's going to be chopped over towards Carnahan. Picks it up at third, throws the first in time to put down the speedy Ezel for the first time today. So Trevor is going to head back to the dugout.
And even though Ben's coming in as a reliever, expect him, as long as everything's working right, to go at least 5 or 6 innings. So it might not be listed as a start, but this could potentially be a start kind of appearance for Ben.
And now to Jason Sukanik. First pitch high and inside of him. Kind of reminds me of when Thomas Wanning started the game for the Xenia Scouts against the Steam, and then Quint McGrath finished it out as that one's driven towards right field, and Miles Wright will make the play. That one began to dip on him, I think, a little sooner than he was expecting, but he'll put his glove towards the grass and pick up the ball before he hit the blades.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he thought that one was going to stay in the air a little longer than it actually did. Had to reach down underhanded to catch that one, so even though it wasn't the prettiest of outs for Miles Wright out and right, he'll definitely take it for the second out of this inning.
As we bring Tony Giannini leads the team in homers with 3 on the season. First pitch from Aldridge inside corner for a strike.
Giannini reached on a hit by pitch last time, and it was ended up stranded at third base.
So 0-1 from the righty Aldridge, and that one curves outside of the zone. 1-1 from the pitcher that goes to Arkansas Monticello College. Transfer from Itawamba Community College. 1-1 is right down the middle. 1-2 now is Aldridge has a 1 strikeout, getting out of the third inning. And from Tupelo, Mississippi, gives the 1-2. That one was driven towards Wyatt Hogan in left field, and he'll put it away. A hard hit ball from Giannini, but luckily for the Scouts, Wyatt Hogan right there in position. So after 3, the Xenia Scouts are yet to get on the board with 0 hits, 0 runs, and no errors, and they trail the Southern Ohio Copperheads by a score of 1-0.
So yeah, Ben gets the Copperheads top of the order to go down 1-2-3. Definitely a good sign of things to come, as a lot of these Copperhead hitters were able to kind of have a more relaxed approach when Nick Street was coming up there. He wasn't going in there trying to throw it really past anybody. He was trying to work it into the field of play and hope his defense could do the rest. Very different approach from Ben. He's, of course, going to use his defense as well, but he's mainly going to try and blow it by you some way or another. So very different approaches from the first two Scouts pitchers.
Southern Ohio Copperheads today without three of their top players in Connor Callery, Ryan Rippey, and Ted Williams. And we learned before the game that Grant Rubel, catcher from Georgia Tech, actually recently left the team. Was since replaced by Stephen Hernan, who is behind the dish for the orange and white today. So a big loss for the Copperheads, as Rubel was batting .305 on the year. He had 2 home runs and 15 RBIs, which was third on the team, but three of the big names for the Copperheads did not start today. I wonder if we're going to see him out of the bench later on today.
Yeah, we learned that Rubel signed apparently what was a half-season contract, even though it was a little more than halfway through the season, because we're over the 30 games mark in terms of total games played. So it was something they knew going in, but still a very tough loss, as he was one of the catchers for Copperheads.
Here comes the first order, Miles right. That's going to be buttoned down, but foul. Hits off the top of the barrel and bounces backwards. 0-1 now to right.
And he did that because, of course, Giannini, playing very deep at third, was much behind the bag, and since has moved inside to the grass, and now will take a few steps back. So we'll see if he goes back to his original position, and if that's the case, Miles could very well put down the bunt again, even though it's an 0-1 count.
Coach Case gave a very inspired speech on Saturday about bunt singles, and Austin Orr came out and got a couple of bunt singles against the Steam down at McLeary Field. 0-1 now to right. Scouts looking for their first hit here in the top of the fourth. That one's checked and fouled. One-handed by David Gahn in the dugout. So 0-2 for number 2, the right fielder, Miles Wright.
Yeah, Miles was trying to check swing on that one, but the barrel was too far out in front of him and just barely tapped it towards the Scouts' dugout for an 0-2 count.
And then we're going to have time. Home plate umpire calls him. Miles Wright steps back, settles himself, and steps back into the box. And here comes the 0-2 from Roscoe Blackburn. That was well in the dirt. Bounces past Hernan. It'll be 1-2 now. Miles from St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. Originally from outside of Houston, Katy, Texas. Katy Taylor High School product. And here comes the 1-2. That one's going to be grounded on a slow roll towards Giannini. And that one's airmailed. Bounces back after the first base backstop and into play. So Miles Wright will not be advanced, but Miles Wright gets the first. I'm going to see if it's going to be ruled an infield single or an error on Giannini. Still looking at the board as Christian Binger comes up to the plate. Second baseman from Southwest Baptist University in Missouri. Miles Wright on first. He has 8 stolen bases on the year. Here comes the first pitch from Blackburn. That one in there for a strike.
And it is finally ruled an error on the play. I would think the error goes on Becht, as I'm pretty sure he was the one who fielded it.
That one's a bit low, so 1-1 now to Christian Binger. So 1-1 count for Binger, who got his 25th walk of the season earlier. Miles Wright on first base. 8 steal attempts. He fakes a steal there. Big swing and miss from Binger. Now down 1-2.
And at second glance, I see the error was on Giannini. It was slowly rolled towards the left side of the infield. I thought it was Becht that got it, but actually it was Giannini. So the throwing error would be on Giannini down at third.
Yeah, both players went over there. Giannini picked it up. Now Miles Wright's on first, so Christian Binger at the dish. 1-2, and that one just outside from Roscoe Blackburn. Evens it up at 2-2 to Binger. Scouts still without their first hit of the game. 1-0 Copperheads lead here in the top of the fourth inning. We've yet to see any rain here. Here comes the 2-2, and that one's going to be lined into left field, and that'll be the first hit of the game. Christian Binger with the single. So the first hit here in the top of the fourth inning.
And that'll give Christian 29 hits on the season as opposed to 25 walks. So he has done a tremendous job of getting on base this summer.
And he's also one of the clutchest players we've ever seen, as he just has magic in the ninth, especially home at Grady's Field. So 2 on, no out for Kyle Carnahan. First pitch to the boulder. He shows bunt, lays it down, but it goes foul. Kyle with 5 home runs on the year, probably catching the Copperheads off guard with that bunt attempt.
Kyle's the kind of guy who could really do it all from the plate. He isn't quite the fleetest of foot, but still a very good athlete and can lay down the bunt for a hit before. We've seen it a few times this season. He tried to pull a fast one on the Copperheads as they were playing deep in the infield.
Scouts struggling bunting the ball today. We've seen at least 3 Scouts with foul balls off of bunts. Miles Ray is going to be back into second base after the pickoff attempt. Safe from Blackburn as Joe Becht went to hold him on. Christian Binger on first after that single. Miles Wright on second after the error from Tony Giannini. Kyle Carnahan at the dish. 0-1 to the boulder. That one swung on and tipped backwards. Quickly 0-2 now to the Ichabod from Washburn. Kyle Carnahan. Last time we were here, the deep field definitely hurt Kyle Carnahan. He had a couple of shots that, if he wasn't at Bob Wren Stadium, might have been home runs. I remember one went about 400 to the warning track in dead center before it was put away.
Yeah, that was the case of Kyle just getting a little too far under the ball. We've seen it time and time again with this last week or so. He's done a great job hitting the long ball with 4 home runs in the last week or so.
Came in today batting .274, 4 home runs in the last 9 days. Now in day number 10 in that stretch for Carnahan. That one goes low, dips right towards the plate, and it'll be the first ball of the count. 1-2 now to Carnahan. Sure to follow the Scouts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be checking XeniaScouts.com regularly for game recaps. Here comes the 1-2 to Carnahan. That one's grounded towards Giannini at third and gets past him. Miles Wright is going to head home. So there's going to be an RBI single from Kyle Carnahan, who continues his hot hitting to tie up this ball game.
That's exactly what you need for the Scouts. They get that run on the board. Giannini tried to dive and stop that one down at third, but it just got past that glove. And Coach Cates saw that and sent Miles right on his way to home plate to score the first run of the game for the Scouts.
So after not getting any hits in the first 3 innings of play, Blackburn got through a third of the whole contest with a hit not recorded on the board. Back-to-back for the Scouts. And they've knotted up this ballgame at 1-1 apiece, folks. David Gaunt at the dish. Kyle Carnahan on first. Christian Binger on second. No outs here in the top of the 4th inning for the Navy and Blue. Here comes first pitch to Gaunt. That one right down Detroit Street for a strike. 0-1. Gaunt's been struggling recently. Did have a single yesterday against the Steam. Christian Binger on second. Here comes the 0-1, and that one has some zip on it. Just misses. 1-1.
Grounded out to Becht at shortstop, his last at bat.
So Binger gets his lead at second. Carnahan on first. 1-1. That one low in the dirt, so 2-1 now from Roscoe Blackburn in this tie ball game. Remember, this is the only game going on in the Great Lakes League. All other contests today have been canceled as rain yet again has stifled the plans from teams all around the state of Ohio. Scouts looking for the 3rd straight victory. Here comes pitch to Gaunt, and that one's hit towards left field. It's going, and gone! David Gaunt is gone yet again here at Bob Wren Stadium for his 2nd homer of the season, and that's the Scouts record. David Gaunt with 7 homers on the year now has broken the single season record in the Xenia Scouts history.
So David been struggling the last week or so. Did have a home run against Lincoln County earlier on last week, but they got to officially break his slump that he had been having lately.
Nothing says broken slump like a 3-run shot to left field. Now Cale Giddings at the plate. First pitch to him in there for a strike. 0-1 to the big man. Scouts now leading this contest 4-1 after 4 runs have already been put across here in the 4th inning. 0-1 from Blackburn. That one fouled out of play to the right side. Giddings goes down 0-2, just like the last time he was up.
And also still no outs on the board, so still plenty of damage in the potential arsenal of the Scouts.
Here comes 0-2 from the lefty Blackburn. That one's going to be shot towards Giannini at third. He throws to first. That one's a bit high as well, but the tall Charlie Waters is able to pick it up as we see a stumble from Cale Giddings. And the 5-3 puts him down. Scouts lead 4-1. David Gaunt with his 7th homer of the year, the single season record in Xenia Scouts history. Breaks open this ball game as Levi Gilcrease steps up to the plate. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it out of play behind us. 1-1 now to Gilcrease, who struck out looking last time. Ben Aldridge, now if he keeps going, that one low and away. 1-1 now to Gilcrease, who could get his 5th victory of the season if the Scouts could hold on. That would tie Hugh McGrath with the only 2 players in the whole league with 5 wins. And here comes the 1-1 to Gilcrease. That one's lined to left center field for a single. So the hits keep on coming for the Navy and Gray here in the top of the 4th. That's their 4th hit of the inning.
And the crazy thing about today is when we were back in Xenia, Ohio, we thought there was 0% chance we were going to play today. Absolute 0. It was raining all over. It was crazy winds. There's now going to be a meeting out on the mound between pitcher Roscoe Blackburn and one of the coaches for the Copperheads. And the weather forecast, I have a little bit of an update. As of right now here in Athens, Ohio, not slated to rain until near 10 p.m. tonight. So with an earlier start time, potentially could avoid the rain, and that was the thought going into the start time. It appeared to not be the case earlier on with the forecast. It appeared that it was going to stop raining right around originally scheduled game time of 7:30. So a little bit of a change for the weather. Mother Nature's a weird beast, and right now it appears we're going to avoid the rain for the duration of today's contest.
Hopefully so, as we really hope we don't jinx that one and we just see a downpour in the next 5 minutes.
If it starts raining, go ahead and blame me, folks.
Will do, Lance. That's the Scouts lead 4-1 with Levi Gilcrease on first. Zach Wiley at the plate, and he walked last time he was up. After the meeting with Blackburn, he's going to stay on the mound. Blackburn's lowest inning total this year was 4 innings. It's only gone through 3 today. First pitch to Wiley in there for a strike.
Wiley reached with a walk his last time up. That was just last inning.
Now it's on 4 straight balls, so that's the first strike Wiley's seen today. 0-1 from Blackburn. That one's in the ground, so evened up at 1-1. Good stop by Hernan. The speedy Gilcrease stands on first base.
And like I mentioned earlier, a very deep backstop here at Bob Wren Stadium, so if it does get away from Hernan, Gilcrease easily going to be on the move to second.
And Gilcrease is on the move on the hit and a run. Giannini picks up at third, throws to first, and on the hop again. Nice stop by Charlie Waters. That's the 2nd time today he's grabbed a ball that was in the ground from Giannini, who already has 1 error. He could have a couple more.
Yeah, Giannini hasn't been looking too great throwing over there at third. Had a couple on the bounce, had a couple up above Waters over at first. So a little bit of errant throws from Giannini, but still nice fielding nonetheless over there at first.
It's going to bring up Wyatt Hogan with Levi Gilcrease in scoring position at second. That one low, 1-0 to Hogan. He flew out to right field last time, opposite direction. Did the righty who's playing left field today. Blackburn trying to get out of the top of the fourth inning. Scouts have put 4 runs across the board, 3 of them on the home run from David Gaunt. Next pitch misses outside, so now 2-0 to Hogan. With 11 walks in the year, you know he'll be patient at the plate.
Yeah, Hogan with 11 walks coming into today.
So Gilcrease gets his lead off of second base. 2-0 pitch from Blackburn, and that one low as well. So quickly 3-0 to Hogan. As we live in the red light district, he's not going to be swinging at this pitch. We see a little bit of sun poking out here down in Athens, Ohio. Missed all the clouds that we've seen today and the rain that we drove in the vans 2 hours for before we got here. That one misses high, so that's number 12 on the year for Hogan as he takes that 90-foot stroll.
And that's the 3rd walk for Blackburn. And with Solomon coming up, the Scouts have batted around. It's just a matter of if we'll see Miles Wright for the 2nd time this inning.
2 outs, runners on first and second. Gilcrease on second, Hogan on first. Lee Solomon at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Ground to a double play last time. He swings and misses at the first pitch, which was a little low. We do see some activity in the Copperhead bullpen. Can't see any numbers, but we do know it's a righty. 0-1 to Lee Solomon back at the dish. Blackburn looks at Gilcrease and throws low for a ball. We've seen a lot of the pitches from Roscoe Blackburn just dipping a little bit too low outside of the strike zone. We've seen that to the tune of 3 walks today. Runners on first and second. 1-1 pitch, and that one's tipped, but into the glove, and now 1-2 after the strike to Solomon.
Dave, we're one batter away from batting through the lineup, so I don't know how to do that. That's fine.
All right, Lee Solomon steps back in, puts the wood on his right shoulder. Batting righty against the lefty Blackburn. That one's going to be chopped towards second base and picked up and touched easily. That time a nice play by Trevor Ezel, and that's going to end the inning in the 4th. The Scouts lead 2-on, but they do have 4 runs come across the board, many of which from the 3-run home run from David Gaunt.
That's absolutely right. Gaunt has, like we said, been struggling the last week or so at the plate. It did have a home run against the Settlers, but that one barely got out of Grady's field. It actually touched that left field foul pole and actually fell out of play. So Gaunt's been struggling a little bit, but he gets a 3-run home run here at Bob Wren Stadium, his 2nd time homering here at Bob Wren Stadium, and in what a large fashion, because that gives him his 7th home run of the season, breaking the pre-existing Scouts record of 6.
So Ben Aldridge will go back for a 2nd inning of action. Last inning he went 1-2-3 in his relief effort. Lance, what's the side coming out for the Copperheads?
Coming up for the Copperheads, it'll be Tyler Pagano, then Bretton Pemba, then Chris Osborne, center fielder from Southeast Missouri State.
So, Xenia Scouts now leading 4-1 as we go to the bottom of this 4th inning. First pitch from Aldridge. A little bit high. Good check from Pagano. Second pitch. Now misses outside, so quickly 2-0 from Ben. And came into today with 12 walks on the season. Also 33 strikeouts. Here comes the next one. That one's right past him. The gas gets by Pagano. 1-2 now. Excuse me, 2-1 now is the count. His Oakland teammate Brett Pemba on deck. Pagano, the righty, at the dish. That one's going to be lined towards right field and just hops inside fair territory, and he's on his way to second with a double. Miles Wright throws it in, but leadoff double for Tyler Pagano puts the Copperheads in business to start the bottom of the 4th inning.
And some quick facts: that home run from David Gaunt breaks the tie between Chandler, Brock, and Patrick Vickery. Each of them had 6 home runs in the 2012 Scouts campaign. And also, Hugh McGrath also has already broken the wins record at 4, shared by John LaCourte, Tyler Smith, and Garrick Whittle.
And Aldridge trying to get back in that single-season wins category himself. Could get number 5 today, but in some danger now. First pitch to Mpemba is up high, and Zach Wiley going out to meet with his pitcher.
And that's one of the things we've mentioned throughout the season. Whenever Ben is working fast and working a little too fast, when he's not getting the strikes and not getting guys to get out, that's when a quick meeting takes place at the mound between Ben and whoever is catching that day.
Ben gave up 8 hits last time he was here. That's by far the most he's gone up in one game this season. Second pitch high as well. 2-0, and Wiley back out on the mound to talk with his pitcher. Wiley from outside of Memphis, Tennessee. Ben Aldridge from Tupelo, Mississippi, so not too far from each other. A couple of Southern gentlemen. Have a number of them on the team. Pagano on second, and Mpemba back at the dish, the lefty. Aldridge delivers that one in there for a strike on the inside corner. Now 2-1. Aldridge working from the stretch now. Pagano getting his lead at second base. 2-1 pitch. That one in there for a strike, as he says.
He went around.
He went around. I wasn't sure if it was in the zone. It looked a little high, but he's saying he went around. So 2-2, evened up now to Mpemba. Ben still looking for his first strikeout of the day. Could he get it here on this 2-2 pitch? Looks a second. Back home, back second, back home. Here it comes. And that one just misses. Now it's going to seat him down. So outside corner, Ben does get his first strikeout of the day. Now 34 on the year. That's going to put him alone for third in the league in strikeouts. So one out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Scouts up 4-1 over the Southern Ohio Copperheads at Bob Wren Stadium on a muggy Monday afternoon. We're playing make-up baseball today, folks, after this game was supposed to be played right here on Friday, but was canceled due to rain. Tyler Pagano sits on second. That pitch high to new batter Chris Osborne. Osborne, another player from southeastern Missouri State. We see some Red Hawk fans in attendance. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. We hear the vibrations from the glove of Zach Wiley all the way up here in the press box. Evened up the count to Chris Osborne. 1-1 with 1 out. Scouts lead 4-1. 1 runner on second. 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be lined foul towards the Copperhead bullpen. We did see some action in the Copperhead bullpen earlier. We'll see if Roscoe Blackburn comes out to the top of the 5th inning. 1-2 now from Aldridge. He just struck out Brett Mpemba looking. We'll have to get back-to-back Ks here. Looks at second now. Focused on home. Here comes the 1-2. Yet again, fouled to the left side. Similar spot we just saw. Osborne hit it. Now he's staying alive. Is the lefty. Second lefty that Aldridge has seen this inning. That one curves and it's tipped. Foul again. We'll do it up at 1-2.
And Wiley a little upset he wasn't able to catch that because it was just a foul tip. So had he been able to catch that, that could have been strike 3.
And Aldridge ready on the mound as usual. Chris Osborne, the center fielder, at the plate. Pagano on second. Here comes the throw. That one well outside. Good grab by Wiley, extending his left arm. That evens up at 2-2. Aldridge maybe trying to just see how far he can get Osborne to chase, but of course nothing doing on that outside heat. 2-2 evened up now. Wiley in his haunches. Here comes that 2-2 pitch, and that one's up high. And good check swing by Osborne. That's going to make a fool. He's fought his way back, was down 1-2, fouled off about 4 balls. After a couple of balls taken, it's a full count.
Yeah, Osborne might not get on base in this at bat. It's finally 3-2, but he's done a good job working the count, fouled off a couple pitches to keep this at bat alive.
Stephen Herndon on deck. He singled back in the second inning, back when Nick Street was in the game. He started today's contest, his first start of the year. Payoff pitch from Aldridge. That one's going to be chopped over to Cale Giddings. Picks up at first, strolls to the bag, and puts him away. So an unassisted put out from Cale Giddings. With that whale advance, Pagano to third base.
And then advance down to third base, but 2 down as long as you get the ground ball you need or the routine pop fly, no harm can be done.
That's Stephen Hernan. He's 1 for 1 today. Again, his only third day with the team. First pitch. Swung and missed. Big swing from the catcher, Stephen Hernan.
Hernan from Otterbein College. We've seen a lot of guys around the league from that school.
6'1", 230 catcher, originally from Hilliard. That one chopped past Aldridge. Lee Solomon will pick it up, throw to first, and in time. So Aldridge able to avoid giving up his first run of the game after the leadoff double from Tyler Pagano. He goes 1, 2, 3, and we get out of the fourth. Scouts leading heading to the top of the fifth by a score of 4-1. That one was a slow roller. Just rolled off the right side of the pitcher's mound looking towards home plate, and Ben did a smart job letting that one go by. Solomon in complete control, shoulder is poised, picked it up, threw it just in time to put away Hernan, who doesn't have a lot of speed. And that's going to leave Pagano stranded. That'll be the third runner left on base of the day for the Copperheads, all of them in scoring position, 2 of them on third base. So now we're moving to the top of the 5th inning. The Scouts batted around back in that 4-run fourth. So Miles, who's going to come up here in the top of the 5th inning. Lance, who's following him.
Yeah, Miles is going to lead it off, and it'll be the same thing coming up to the plate. We saw it in the 4th inning. Miles will lead it off. Then it'll be Christian Banger got himself on with a base hit his last time up, and then Kyle Carnahan, who got himself on with a base hit and also hit in Miles for the first run of the day.
We will see a new pitcher on the mound. Looks like it's Christian Botter out there. Botter, 6'4" righty from right here in Athens, Ohio at Ohio University. Originally from Maple, Ontario, eh? So we got a Canadian in the mix in today's contest. On the year, he has a 2.51 ERA, a 1-0 record. This will be his 10th appearance, all out of the pen. He has 2 saves on the year, 14 and third innings pitched, 8 strikeouts compared to 11 walks, and has given up 8 hits this year. So, again, Copperheads and the Scouts with the 2 best pitching staffs in the league. Another one of those solid pitchers coming out of the pen for the Copperheads. So righty-righty battle here. And Christian Botter, the new pitcher. And Miles Wright. First pitch is inside and off the glove of Hernan for a ball, 1-0 to Miles.
Final line from Blackburn, a lot of 4s in there. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, giving up 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout.
Next pitch to Miles, that one in there for a strike, evened up at 1-1 from the 6'4", 190-pound righty Christian Botter. 1-1 pitch. That one's a bit low in the dirt, so now 2-1 to Miles, who's starting off his second consecutive inning. Got on with an error from Tony Giannini last time, was driven home on a single from Kyle Carnahan. Was then homered by his Washburn teammate David Gahn. That one swung and driven towards center field, but there's Osborne in there and plenty of time to put it away. Miles now 0 for 3 in today's contest.
Miles hit that one very nicely. Just happened to be right towards Osborne out in center field for the first out of the inning.
It's going to bring up Christian Binger, who's 1 for 1 today, has also walked. It was his 25th walk of the season. That one outside corner for a strike. 0-1 now to Binger. Lance, is there any walk stats in the team's history? If so, Christian's got to be up there.
I didn't see any walk stats.
Unfortunate. Well, we can make our own, and Christian Binger will be leading it. That one grounded towards second, put away. Good throw by Ezel to Waters, and Binger goes down for the first time today.
So David Gaunt, who with his home run was already tied for second in the league with RBIs, but 3 more will put him at 29, trailing Andy Young of the Hamilton Joes by just 2.
Now Kyle Carnahan steps to the plate, single last time. Scored Miles right. First pitch outside and low for a ball, 1-0. Christian Botter in relief has looked very good on the mound for the Copperheads. Here comes his 1-0. Shows bunt, pulls back. Misses a bit high, 2-0 now. Man of many nicknames, Kyle Carnahan, the Boulder, Mr. Hot Corner, and Thor. All of those, 2-0 pitch, and that one misses outside. 3-0 now to Carnahan. He's most likely taken here despite his 5 home runs on the season.
But if anyone would swing at a 3-0, it'd probably be Kyle.
Here comes that 3-0 pitch, and he is taking on the inside corner for a strike. Botter trying to work his way back into this at-bat. Scouts lead 4-1, 2 down here, none on in the top of the 5th inning. Scouts put all of their runs on back in the top of the 4th. And that one misses outside, so Carnahan will get on with that walk, the first of the day from Botter.
And that'll be Kyle's 11th walk on the season.
4 walks total between the 2 pitchers of the Copperheads, and that's going to bring him David Gaunt, 1 for 2 today, with that 3-run home run to the left field. That one went real deep. It was caught by the netting behind the field, but it still had some distance on it. Carnahan on first, Gaunt at the plate. First pitch to him is outside for a ball, 1-0 to David.
So David now with 7 home runs, 29 RBIs on the season.
Carnahan gets his lead. That one's a bit high now, 2-0 to David.
And the runs batted in record is 30. So he's 1 away from tying it, 2 away from breaking it.
So a 2-run shot might be pretty neat. 2-0 of 2 outs to David Gaunt. Here's the throw from Botter, and that one is low. So quickly 3 straight balls from Botter to Gaunt. He did just what Kyle Carnahan, and again another player that could be swinging on a 3-0 pitch, but you have to think Gaunt will be taking just like Kyle did. Botter from the stretch, he delivers. That one's low, so back-to-back walks to the Ichabods, and Kyle Carnahan and David Gaunt are put on first and second of Cale Giddings at the plate.
And you know Cale is itching for his first hit after a couple of groundouts in his first 2 at-bats, once back to the pitcher's mound and 1 to Giannini over at third.
So 5 walks on the day from the Copperheads, only 1 from the Scouts. That's been a difference in today's game. 4-1 score. The Scouts lead here in the top of the 5th inning at Bob Wren Stadium down in Athens, Ohio. First pitch to Giddings. That one inside for a ball. So we've seen 6 straight balls from Botter after he got the first 2 batters out in succession in Miles Wright and Christian Binger. Botter looks at second, and Kyle Carnahan throws back home. That one's high to Giddings. Giddings stands at 6'4", 245. One of the biggest guys on the team. Has a big strike zone. Swings that big stick that we call his axe, as he's been nicknamed Paul Bunyan, 2-0 in that one. Outside corner for a strike. 2-1 now to Giddings. Carnahan and Gaunt both get released. 2-1. That one a little too far outside on the breaking ball. 3-1. Giddings is 1 ball away from Botter walking the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
You gotta like the patience these Scout hitters have shown.
Here comes the 3-1 to Giddings. And that one's up high, so Botter will walk the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. And Levi Gilcrease coming up to the plate, and he singled last time.
This is one of the better relievers on the Copperhead, so the fact that he is 3 straight walks after getting the first 2 guys out is a little strange, if nothing else.
And he did have more walks and strikeouts coming into today, but already with 3 on the contest, came in with 11 through 14 and 3rd innings pitched. First pitch to Gilcrease is a bit high for a ball. 1-0 now to Gilcrease.
And Gilcrease got himself a hit back in that 4th inning, and now they're going to have a meeting on the mound.
We already saw Stephen Hernan meet with his pitcher this inning. Now, Copperhead's coaching staff going to have some words with their 6'4" righty. I don't see any activity in the pen for the Copperheads, so I have to imagine that they're going to keep with him. He's in a tough spot here. Did great his first 2 batters. Got Miles right. It was a good contact for Miles, but it flew out to dead center. And Christian Binger on an 0-1 count grounded out to second, but ever since that point, it's been 3 straight walks and only 2 strikes between those 12 balls. It's a 6-to-1 ball-to-strike ratio. And then 1-0 now to Levi Gilcrease. So here comes a 1-0 to Levi. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. So maybe the words and the time off have calmed down Christian Botter, pitcher from Ohio University, the Bobcat, here at his home stadium. 1-1 pitch to Gilcrease, and that one is a bit low, just outside of the bottom of that strike zone. 2-1 now to the center fielder from Baylor, who's 1 for 2 today. Did strike out to Roscoe Blackburn back in the 2nd to end that inning. That one curves in there right down the middle for a strike, evened up at 2-2 with 2 outs. Carnahan on third, Gaunt on second, Giddings on first, Gilcrease at the plate. And that one misses outside. Good eye from Levi. And we're full here at 3-2. Very pivotal pitch on the payoff from Botter to Gilcrease. And here comes the payoff pitch. That one misses outside, and he'll walk home a run. 4 straight walks from Christian Botter. And that's going to bring up Zach Wiley.
So that'll be Gilcrease's 13th walk on the season, and also his 13th RBI, because when you walk with the bases loaded, you also get an RBI.
So Kyle Carnahan has a nice day out there as he's able to walk to first, second, third, and home all on walks. So Gone on third, Giddings on second, Gilcrease on first for Zach Wiley. First pitch to him, and there for a strike. Curves in from Botter, who's still in a bit of danger. He gets a couple of practice swings in, gets into his stance on 1 pitch. That one in there for a strike as well. This time Botter going right down the middle aggressively towards Wiley, who's down 0-2. Scouts up 5-1 now with 2 outs. Bases loaded in the top of the 5th inning. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that gets him looking. Zach Wiley's going to head back to the dugout after taking 3 straight strikes. And that's going to be the first strikeout of the day for Botter, who loads the bases, does put 1 across on his 4 straight walks. Now a total of 7 walks on the day for the Copperheads. And the Scouts lead going to the ball in the 5th inning by a score of 5-1, and we'll see Ben Aldridge again.
Yeah, definitely a strange inning there from Botter. He walks the bases loaded and then walks Levi Gilcrease. He worked to a full count, but still nonetheless walked Levi and then brought Zach Wiley up to the plate, but didn't get a pitch he liked, and they strikes out on 3 straight pitches.
So we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. It doesn't seem like it's warranted, but I think we should mention that if the game gets through 5 innings, it will be recorded as an official contest, and we won't have to worry about playing this one again unless there's a sudden thunderstorm that comes out of nowhere. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. But Ben Aldridge on the mound for his third inning of action. He came in relief of Nick Street, who went 2 innings, gave up 1 run. That was back in the first inning. And the Copperheads have put 3 zeros on the board after that point. The Scouts did most of their scoring in the 4th inning. Miles Wright got on with an error, was singled home later by Kyle Carnahan. And then a 3-run home run by David Gaunt, his 7th of the year. The team record now with 8 games after today, because this is game number 32, and then most likely playoffs. So he has a plethora of chances to extend on that record. 2 RBIs away from breaking the team RBI record, now with 29 on the year. And gives us to our 5-1 score now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lance, what's the side coming up for the Copperheads?
For the Copperheads, it'll be led off by Joe Becht, then Charlie Waters, and back to the top with Trevor Ezel.
First pitch to Becht, and that one's inside for a ball. Copperheads led off the last inning, the bottom of the 4th, of a double to start. Second pitch in there for a strike to Joe Becht. The shortstop, he grounded to a 3-6-1 double play last time. That was back in the 2nd inning. And that one outside corner for a strike. 1-2 now to Joe Becht. I thought he might have tried to call time, but it was too late.
And that at-bat in the 2nd inning was so long that was when Nick Street was still on the mound.
No, Ben Aldridge, of course, already ready on the rubber, pitching from the windup. Here comes the 1-2. And that one curves too far inside for a ball, evened up at 2-2 to Joe Becht from Santa Clara University in California. Here comes a 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to be fouled to the left side, out of play. We'll do it again, an even count at 2-2. That came into today, batting .250 on the year. Scouts up 5-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. No one on, no one out. 2-2 count from Ben Aldridge. Standing on the mound. He takes a long time, and Zach Wiley finally going to go out there and talk to him. This is the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Wiley and Aldridge talk out there.
There's got to be some kind of pitch or something that they're not seeing eye to eye on, because otherwise would be a need for this many meetings.
You did see Zach Wiley shaking his face as he came back down. So we'll see what's coming here from Ben at the 2-2. And that one right down the middle for a strikeout. So whatever happened between those two, it worked out for Ben's 2nd strikeout of the day, both of the caught-looking variety. Aldridge now with 35 strikeouts on the year, 1 away from tying Chris McDonald of the Lorain County Ironman for 2nd in the league. That first pitch is going to be grounded out of play right above the Scouts' dugout as Charlie Waters steps up to the dish.
Strikeout record for the record, 47.
Now Ben Aldridge might have that in the back of his mind. 0-1 is going to be chopped towards Ben, picks it up a little bit off the mound, underhands it to Giddings, and 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Ben doing a good job of rolling ever since he allowed Pagano to get on with that double back in the 4th. Got Impemba to go down on strikes. Got Osborne and Hernan to ground out. Then got back to strikeout and Waters to ground out here in the bottom of the 5th.
And now here comes the first pitch outside to Trevor Ezel as we start the top of the order for the 3rd time for the Copperheads. 0-for-1. Walton scored. Walton was forced out at home. Has not scored today as that 2nd pitch goes off the glove for a ball of Zach Wiley. 2-0 now to Ezel, who, as I just mentioned, is the lone walk of the day. 2-0 pitch, and that one's outside too, so quickly 3-0 to Ezel. Trevor came into today batting .257 on Southeastern Missouri State. 3-0 pitch. That one a bit high, and that's going to walk Ezel on 4 straight balls. So the first walk of the day for Aldridge. Has 13 on the year to go with his 35 strikeouts. Bring up Jason Sukanik. It's 1 for 2 today. First pitch to him is outside for a ball, 1-0. Here comes the second pitch. Now one's going to be singled into right field to Miles Wright. And so 2 on now with 2 outs for Ben Aldridge. And he's in a little bit of trouble. Now Tony Giannini, who leads the team in home runs with 3 on the season, but the play is 0 for 1 today, was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Righty-righty battle here between Giannini and Ben Aldridge. 2 outs, bottom 5th. Scouts up 5-1, runners on first and second. That one's going to be lined towards Lee Solomon on the hop, and he gets past him. The play I think you originally thought that he was going to be able to catch it on the fly, but it bounces in front of him. That's going to be rolling air on Solomon. That's going to load the bases.
So now the inning that was seemingly going very well for the Scouts and Ben Aldridge, he allows Ezel to get on with a walk. Sukanik gets on with the base hit, and then beyond his control, Giannini gets on with an error that Lee Solomon just couldn't get a handle on.
It's going to bring in Tyler Pagano, who's 1 for 2 today, but has been on both times. He had that double to start the 4th inning. He was straining on 3rd. He also got on for fielder's choice back in the 1st inning, so he's 1 for 2. Aldridge trying to get out of the 5th with his 5-1 lead still intact. Again, thank you for listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball. To myself, Terry Lash, and my broadcast partner, Lance Morris, as we are in game 32 of the 40-game regular season. Thank you for listening all around the country as the Scouts come from a variety of different places. Ben Aldridge from Mississippi on the mound, and Zach Wiley from Tennessee behind the plate. Bases loaded for the Copperheads and Tyler Pagano. First pitch to him. And there for a strike, 0-1 from Aldridge.
Pagano 1 for 2 today, reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st.
Aldridge looks at 3rd in the stretch, throws. That one's just barely nicked backwards. We can hear the tip of the barrel of the bat. Aldridge very aggressively goes up 0-2 on the right fielder from Oakland University in Rochester Hills, Michigan, right by the Palace where the Detroit Pistons play their basketball. 0-2 of 2 outs. That one's hit towards right field. Miles right on his horse, getting back, and puts it away. So 3 left on for the Copperheads after the Scouts were originally in some danger. And have now left 6 on today. A problem the Scouts have dealt with mightily this season. Copperheads has struggled today bringing home runners. And of those 6, 5 have been in scoring position, 3 of which on 3rd base.
Let's see what we can get here in this next coming inning from your Xenia Scouts. They've done a good job the last few innings on offense, but 4 in the 4th and an additional 1 in the 5th, although they reached almost all exclusively because of the walk. In fact, it was exclusively, and then that inning is ended. Zach Wiley struck out, so Scouts didn't have to do too much other than be patient up there at the plate to get some runs on guys on the base pass and then get a run on the board.
So we're heading to the 6th inning of action after being through 5. Officially, we'll get a decision for this contest, no matter if rain comes or not. Number 7 on the year for David Gaunt. That 3-run shot now leads the team's history. Thank you for following the Scouts as Wyatt Hogan walks to the plate. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Xenia up by a score of 5-1 on the Southern Ohio Copperheads. It'll be the 9-1-2 batters. Hogan 0 for 1 today. Did a walk last time. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. Hogan was walked back by Roscoe Blackburn. One of Blackburn's 3 walks today. 7 walks total for the Copperheads. That one misses a... No, does not miss. It's in there for a strike. 0-2. Wyatt Hogan's back against the wall. 0-2 count to start the top of the 6th inning. 5-1 Scouts. And he swings at the high heat. He couldn't lay off of it. Down on 3 strikes for the second strikeout of the afternoon for Christian Botter. So Lee Solomon now at the dish. Lee is 0 for 3 today. Last time was put away on a fielder's choice. That one way up top. 1-0. 2 of the shortstop. Lee did have an error last inning. Struggled a little bit this afternoon. Comes the pitch to him and swung and tipped backwards. Now evened up at 1-1 to the speedy Solomon, shortstop from Lipscomb University. You look at the scoreboard, 4 hits apiece and 1 error apiece. You wouldn't believe the 5-1 lead the Scouts have. That 1-1 right down the equator. 1-2 now to Solomon. Botter. He throws the 1-2, and that one's going to be popped up in foul territory and put away by Charlie Waters, the first baseman. And now Solomon 0 for 4 today, and he's been struggling.
Yeah, Lee has been struggling a little bit, and he did have that home run against the Steam on Saturday, but he was only 1 for 5 in that contest.
I'll bring up Miles right to the plate. He's 0 for 3 in today's contest. Did score the first run of the day for the Scouts. First of their 5. This is our 5-1 here in Athens, Ohio, in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. That pitch up high to Miles, 1-0 from Botter. Botter came in last inning and walked 4 straight batters to give the Scouts a run, extend their lead to 5-1. Here's the second pitch, and that one misses outside. Count is now 2-0. Number 2 steps back in with a 2-0. Miles right fielder from St. Edward's University. And that one misses outside as well. So quickly 3-0 to Miles. You have to imagine he'll be taking here with that 3-0 count. Potter from the windup throws off the left side of the rubber, looking home, and it's a strikeout. Again, a late call as Miles Wright was about to throw his bat. Scouts lead 4-1. Excuse me, 5-1 here in the top of the 6th. Here comes the pitch. And that one's way up top. This time, Miles can chuck the wood towards the deck-out and stroll over the first for the second time today. He got on with an error earlier, now on with a walk.
Gotta feel if there's a little bit of deja vu going on. It's exactly the same thing that happened to Binger last time he was up at the plate. So he got on with the walk after a couple things happened. So see if that can happen again.
Christian Binger at the plate now for the 5th walk of the day from Christian Botter. First pitch to Binger. In there for a strike. Curved across the zone. Miles Wright strolls off first base. 8 stolen bases on the year. Probably won't see him with 2 outs, though. So want to hit towards shortstop. Picked up and put away just in time. Nice play by Joe Beck to put away the speedy Wright. That will do it for the Scouts in the top of the 6th inning. Miles Wright gets on with a walk. But no hits, and even though he's allowed a run to score, Christian Botter hasn't allowed a hit yet in this contest.
It's been definitely a mixed bag from Botter. Does have 5 walks on the day, but hasn't allowed a hit quite yet. So strange outing, but nonetheless has allowed another run for the Scouts.
Botter came into today with 11 walks on the year, now with 16. One more than half of his season total coming into today. On the afternoon is Ben Aldridge. Will come back out on the mound here for his 4th inning of work. He came back in the bottom of the 3rd inning, is not allowed to run yet. Bases were loaded last inning, though, before Aldridge was able to get himself out of that jam. Again, all the other games in the Great Lakes League have been canceled tonight, folks, as rain has once again caused some scheduling problems. Lance, who's coming up for the Copperheads here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
For the Copperheads, it'll be led off by Brett Impemba. He's 0 for 2 today. Then it'll be Chris Osborne. He's also 0 for 2 today. Then it'll be Steven Hernan, and he's 1 for 2 on the day. Had that hit back in the 2nd inning. That was when Nick Street was still on the mound.
So Brett Impemba at the plate. First pitch he takes is for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 from Aldridge. Aldridge with 2 strikeouts on the day and 1 walk. 1 hit given up. That one's hit foul out of play to left field. While Hogan will draw towards it but quickly get back to his position. 0-2 now to Impemba, who's 0 for 2 today but does have an RBI, the lone RBI on the contest for the Copperheads. That was back in the 1st inning. Now must be chopped over the head of Aldridge. Solomon picks it up behind second base, throws to first, but not in time. So an infield single for Brett Impemba is Aldridge's 3rd hit of the day given up.
There wasn't much Ben could do on that one. He tried to range back and field that one and field his position, but it wasn't able to quite get to it. And Solomon ended up grabbing it, but didn't have enough time as it was slowly hit enough for Impemba to be safe at first.
And that's going to bring up Chris Osborne, who's 0 for 2 today. That one's up high for a ball. In the last 3 innings, the leadoff batter for the Copperheads has gone on a double, a walk, no, a single. This is outside, and correction, Ben struck out the batter to start the last inning, so 2 of the last 3 times. Chris Osborne at the plate, 1-1 count now from Aldridge. Scouts lead 5-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 1 on. And that one in there for a strike. 1-2 now to the center fielder. He worked Ben to a full count last time after he was down 1-2. See if he can do it again here. Here comes that 1-2. That was going to be chopped foul into the dugout right by our stats guru, Jeff Connor, is live tweeting the game. Likely did his laptop. Brett Impemba stands off at first base here at Bob Wren Stadium as it's going to be a timeout called as Chris Osborne steps out of the box and back in. The lefty looking for his first hit of the day. Here comes the 1-2. That one's head high towards us back here in the press box. Out of play. And yet again, very similar to last time. Osborne goes down 1-2 and fouls off a couple of balls. He fouled off 3 before getting 2 balls to get a full count before he was put away on a ground out to Cale Giddings at first. This time he went down 1-2 and fouled off a couple after that point. That one just misses inside, barely to even it up at 2-2. And Impemba on first after the lead-off single. Here comes the pitch. Now he's chopped over to Giddings, picks it up at first, throws to second, and in time to Solomon, who is covering at short. So a fielder's choice puts away the lead runner. Has a play from Cale Giddings.
That was a good play from Cale. He had to range over to field that one and realized there was no chance of going to first for the out, so he just flipped it over to Lee Solomon covering second base, and they were able to get out the lead runner.
Osborne on the backs for the first time today on a 3-6 fielder's choice as Stephen Hernan at the dish. His first pitch swinging miles right will be getting under it in right field and putting it away. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's going to bring up Joe Beck. Struck out looking last time to Aldridge. He's 0 for 2 today. Also grounded 3-6-1 double play back in the second.
I hope Miles wasn't listening to that walk-off song.
And that one's hit to left field, left center. Levi Gilcrease and Wyatt Hogan range it back, and it's going to drop between them. That's going to bring in 1 run as the throw comes in, and it's going to be RBI double from Joe Beck, and the lead is cut to 5-2. The first run of the day given up by Ben Aldridge.
The reason I said I hope Miles wasn't listening to that walk-off song is because that's one of the songs that was stuck in his head for a variety of days. It was very annoying to listen to.
That's going to bring Charlie Waters to the plate. Now it's up high to the big first baseman, 1-0. Chris Osborne got on with a fielder's choice and then comes around to score. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Aldridge. That one in there for a strike. 1-1, evened up to Chris Waters from Stetson University. He's 0 for 2 today. Joe Beck sitting on second after his RBI double. 5-2 score, 2 outs. Scouts up 5-2, bottom 6, 1-1 pitch. Now misses outside, 2-1 from Aldridge here in his 4th inning of work. No activity in the Scouts bullpen yet, so I think we're going to see Ben in the 7th as well. So we can get out of here in the 6th. And that one gets him swinging to even up at 2-2. Big swing and a miss from Charlie Waters.
Yeah, Ben definitely took a lot off of that pitch and got Waters swinging. He couldn't quite catch up to that.
2-2 now. Runner on second base. Here comes that 2-2 outside. Make it full with a payoff pitch incoming. Second full count of the day for Aldridge. First base is open. Joe Beck on second, 3-2, and that one's chopped foul to the right side, just dribbled off the end of the bat. And we'll do it again at 3-2, payoff pitch 2.0 coming from Ben Aldridge, pitching from the stretch. Scouts up 5-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner on second. Full count, here comes the payoff. That one chopped again behind him. Good at bat from Charlie Waters. We've seen a couple of really good at bats this inning. Chris Osborne, who scored, had a nice at bat. Got on with a fielder's choice on a 2-2 count after fouling off a few balls. These Copperhead batters definitely getting the most out of Ben Aldridge in this inning. That one swung on and missed. Aldridge gets another strikeout, his 3rd of the day. And he gets out of the inning. The Copperheads leave another one on. That will be the 7th batter left on from the Copperheads, 6 of which in scoring position.
Yeah, it was a good job by Ben. That inning, he did allow a run to come across, but was able to limit the damage and get the Copperheads to go down swinging to end that bottom of the 6th.
So the Scouts will come back here on the top of the 7th. As those 3 strikeouts on the day from Aldridge puts him at 36 on the season. That ties him for 2nd in the league. Home run from Gaunt, his 7th on the year, ties him for 1st in the league in home runs as well with Andy Young and his 2 RBIs behind him. Gaunt now with 29 on the year. Christian Botter will come back out for his 3rd inning of action. Has not given up a hit yet, but has given up an earned run on his 5 walks, including 4 straight. Lane splits the side coming up for the Xenia Scouts here on the top of the 7th.
For the Scouts, they go 4, 5, 6. It'll be led off by each of the Washburn duo. It'll be led off by Kyle Carnahan. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He walked back in the 5th inning. And it'll be David Gunt, the other half of the Washburn duo. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Had his 3-run home run in the 4th, and then walked back in the 5th. And then a little bit of a trend here. Cale Giddings will come up. He walked back in the 5th as well. He's 0 for 2 on the day.
So Botter back on the mound. Came and replaced Roscoe Blackburn. First pitch to Carnahan. Curves in there for a strike back into the zone. 0-1 now is Mr. Hot Corner. Blackburn went 4 innings to start this game. 0-1 pitch to Carnahan is low in the dirt. 1-1 evened up. He gave 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. And so far, Botter has given up 1 earned run. 1-1 pitch to Carnahan. That one's hit to deep left field. It's going, and gone! And for the first time this season, the Ichabod duo of Kyle Carnahan and David Gaunt have homered in the same game. And that's number 6 on the year for Kyle.
Yeah, you'd look at them throughout this season. When Kyle's been hitting well, it's usually been David struggling, and vice versa. When David's been hitting well, Kyle's been struggling. So they each get a home run in the same game for the first time this season. It's something that happened plenty of times back at Washburn this spring.
Carnahan now 2 for 3 today with 3 runs scored and a walk, including that and a homer. And that first pitch to Gaunt in there for a strike. 0-1 to David. So both Ichabods making a case for player of the game. Second pitch in there as well. 0-2 to the designated hitter, David Gaunt. He's played in 31 of 32 games this season for the Scouts. 0-2 pitch from Botter, and that one way outside. Hits the backstop. 1-2 now. That homer given up to Carnahan was the first hit of the game given up by Christian Botter. Second earned run. Here comes the 1-2 to Gaunt, and that one's lined towards right field. And that will be put away by Tyler Pagano, so 1 down now in the top of the 7th inning, but the Scouts lead 6-2. And that's going to bring up the big man, Cale Giddings. First pitch from Botter, swung and missed. Big hack at it by Cale.
And Cale's been very aggressive every single at-bat except the at-bat he walked.
He's 0 for 2 today. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that one's low in the dirt. Good job by Cale, keeping a keen eye on that one. We're here in the 7th inning, folks. Scouts lead 6-2. Home run for Kyle Carnahan earlier this inning as Cale Giddings pops that one out of play towards the stands, heads up over there, bounces off of the concrete and out of Bob Run Stadium. 1-2 now to Giddings, who's down to his last strike. Trying to get his first hit of the day. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Scouts up 6-2. Here comes the 1-2. That one's driven towards center field. Osborne racing back, and he'll put it away. Again, center field here, the deepest park in the league, 405. That one had to go around, 390 before it was put away?
Yeah, probably something like that. That's been the reoccurring theme for Cale this summer, and it also says that's basically how his season went. So he's done that a lot. He'll get just under the ball, and it'll go pretty far, but it usually stops a little shy of the wall, usually a little shy of the warning track as well.
Here comes Levi Gilcrease, and his first pitch swing popped that one high up. We're going to try to make a play on it, and he won't be able to. He ran back and crashed into the black netting right in front of us. You can probably see it pretty well on the webcam, but was unable to make the play. Levi Gilcrease dodges a bullet on that one.
Yeah, he was way out on that one and just somehow stayed in play to start with, but then Vernon wasn't able to quite get to that one to record the final out of the inning.
And here comes 0-1 to Gilcrease, and that one's driven to left field. It's going back, and gone! That was the deepest one of the day, the third home run shot of the afternoon for the Scouts, and Levi Gilcrease gets his first homer of the season.
I watched Levi put a couple out that day. We had Midnight BP when we were doing the Ultimate Training Camp, and we saw that he had plenty of power, but usually he hasn't been able to time one up to get a really big piece of any of them. So that's the second home run of the season that's not hit by a Scouts player that's from Washburn. Him and Solomon with the other couple of home runs from the guys that aren't from Washburn. Big blast there from Levi.
First pitch to Zach Wiley, 7-2 score now. Scouts leading. That one goes outside corner for a strike. Well, I struck out looking last time on 3 pitches from Botter. 2 strikeouts he has today. 0-1 count. That one's chopped into left field, and a single from Zach Wiley. And the Scouts have come down to Athens, Ohio, and they brought their sticks with them.
So that's something that a lot of the Scouts players have touched on whenever we talk to them. They say hitting is contagious. It's a virus that gets through the team once a couple guys get going, and that's exactly what's happened here. 2 home runs, one from Carnahan, one from Levi, and then Wiley gets on for a base hit. That's his 4th hit against the Copperheads, and that's his 8th hit of the season. Half of his hits now have came against the Southern Ohio Copperheads team.
He's like a bull, but when he sees orange instead of red, he gets enraged, and that's why he's playing so well against the Copperheads as Wyatt Hogan comes to the plate. He struck out last time. First time in an inning this year, the Scouts have hit 2 runs, both on the solo shot variety. Kyle Carnahan started off the inning, and then Levi Gilcrease got his first home run of the season. First pitch to Hogan, chopped foul towards the Copperhead dugout. Scouts lead 7-2, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Zach Wiley stands on first base after his single squeaked into left field. Wyatt Hogan off the dish now, facing 0-1 count from Christian Botter. And that one's outside corner for a strike, as we do see some action in the Copperheads bullpen now. Again, can't see who it is, but it is a righty. Botter's in his 3rd inning of action. He's given up 3 earned runs. And that one misses outside. Hogan makes it 1-2 now. Scouts will put 2 across this inning. They put 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. That one's going to be tipped backwards as Botter took a whole lot off of that one. Why Hogan's staying alive at 1-2. Wiley stands off the bag at first. Scouts trying to keep this top of the 7th alive. 1-2 pitch from Botter. That one's high. Good eye from Hogan. Now it's evened up at 2-2. Hogan trying to work his way back.
Yeah, Hogan not the highest average on the team with 143, but is still very patient at the plate. It does already have 1 walk drawn today.
And 12 on the season, one of the best on the team, and that one is going to be fouled out of play. Good job by Hogan getting a piece of that one. His last at bat, he went down on 3 strikes, including the 3rd one where he was swinging way out of the zone, so a much better at bat this time from the left fielder from Hendricks College, the Warrior. Hendricks College in Arkansas, Division III. Well, Hogan originally from California. 2-2 with 2 outs, 1 runner on. Here comes the pitch, and that one checked in. They're saying he's... I'm not sure what's going on. I thought they called him safe, or...
That was a weird call.
Okay, originally it looked like Hogan went around.
I think they were saying safe as if the catcher did drop it or something. I'm
okay.
not sure.
I didn't see the catcher. Did you see the catcher drop it?
Well, seeing as he made the motion like Wyatt was going to walk towards first.
Originally,
because it wasn't signaled out right away, so that means safe as in that it was dropped, not safe as in Wyatt didn't go around. So confusing call there to say the least.
So it was confusing. We thought Wyatt might have held up. Clearly didn't look like it as he goes down on strike for the 2nd time in a row in the 2nd consecutive inning. I think everyone on the field was confused before they finally threw it over to Charlie Waters over at first base, but that will do it amidst the confusion. In the top of the 7th, the Scouts put 2 runs on the board, both home runs. It's been 3 dingers on the day for the Scouts that have accumulated in 5 total runs. Kyle Carnahan and Levi Gilcrease both homering in that inning. It was the first home run of the season for Gilcrease.
And the Scouts, a team not full of a bunch of guys that are going to constantly hit the long ball outside of David and Kyle. It's very sporadic. Lee has just 2 on the season, each of them leadoff home runs. And then Levi comes in with his own. And we've seen that he has home run power, but usually doesn't do that in games, more so does that during batting practice. Or the fact that he got a pitch right down the pipe, he saw it and took full advantage of that one and hit that one to deep left field. That one went a long ways back.
Yeah, there's a netting behind the outfield here that's going to catch home runs unless you just absolutely jack. And that was at the top of that netting. It goes 340 to dead left, so probably 350, the point where he hit it over. That's probably around a 400-foot ball he hit, if not more.
At least, I would think at least.
And Lance side coming out for the Copperheads as the first pitch is inside for a foul tip.
First up, it'll be Trevor Izell will be back at the top of the order, and then it'll be Jason Sukanik and Tony Giannini.
I was wrong. That one went for a ball, missed the bunt, and that one's going to be lined foul to the left side. 1-1 now to Izell. Aldridge now in his 5th inning of action after coming in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled back again. Aldridge works his way back, now leads 1-2 against Izell, who he walked on 4 straight pitches last time. His lone walk of the day. Izell's been walked twice. He's 0 for 1. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled back towards us. And you might have to get your glove out there and try to snag that one. See if you can get the Spider-Man today.
Might as well try. Why not?
Yeah. Do some color commentary. Catch a few balls. That one misses low. 2-2 now. Trevor Izell.
See, now the thing is, we're used to trying to catch balls, but not baseballs. We're used to trying to catch volleyballs because there's always a drill that kind of hits you in the head.
And that one's driven towards left field wide. Hogan racing back and putting it away. And that liner goes away quietly. And for the second time today, Trevor Izell is put away. And that's going to bring up Jason Sukanik, the left fielder, who's had an afternoon. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. He was stranded on second last time he was up. Swung and missed from the righty, Sukanik. He's one of 2 runs on the day for the Copperheads. Whereas Osborne scored the other. 0-1 from Aldridge. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Second pitch in there for a strike as well. Aldridge still staying aggressive here in his 5th inning of pitching. Scouts lead 7-2 in the top half of this inning. 2 solo shots for the Scouts as that one goes low for a ball. 1-2 now.
Hard one for Sukanik to hold up on that one. That curveball that was curving down to the dirt looks very appealing off the throw.
And that one's going to be fouled backwards. Aldridge took a little bit off that one. We'll do it again at 1-2. Scouts. David Gaunt now with 7 home runs in the year. Not only the team record, but tied for first in the league. And now Kyle Carnahan takes his spot for tie for second with 6. And here's the 1-2, and that one misses outside. Evened up at 2-2. Good at bat right now from Jason Sukanik, left fielder from Xavier, teammate of Thomas Wanning last year. 2-2 pitch. Now misses way outside in the dirt and has worked all the way back to full.
Definitely, regardless of if he gets on or not, a great at bat from Sukanik, who works it all the way back to a 3-2.
This will be the 3rd full count for Aldridge. Here comes the pitch, and that one misses outside for a ball and a walk. That's the first time in a full count that Ben has walked the batter, and that's the 2nd walk of the afternoon. So that's the 3rd time today Jason Sukanik has gone on and been a thorn in the side of the Scouts here at Bob Wren Stadium as Tony Giannini comes to the plate. Getting on with an error from Lee Solomon last time. First pitch to Giannini is up high for a ball.
Yeah, Giannini 0 for 2 on the day, but does lead this club in home runs with 3.
Giannini from Ohio University. One of a plethora of Bobcats on the Southern Ohio Copperhead team. He plays here at Bob Wren Stadium all year long. Next pitch is low and away. 2-0 from Aldridge. Might see Zach Wiley out there try to sell him down as he's throwing a lot more balls in these last 2 batters than he was. Ben's given up 1 run in his relief effort. That one in there for a strike to the upper part of the zone. 2-1 now to Giannini.
Still no action out in the Scouts bullpen, so we'll have to see just how long they want to go with Ben.
Nick Street starts today, went 2 innings, pickoff attempt. In there in playing time is Sukanik. And this will be the 5th inning if Ben can get 2 more outs for Aldridge. Again, he pinched 5 innings down here at Bob Run Stadium. Last time these two teams played, Scouts lost that one 3-2. Aldridge got the loss. That one's hit towards third base. Kyle Carnahan backhands it, throws it to first in time. Nice play by Mr. Hot Corner, Kyle Carnahan. Wasn't hit very hard, but hit all the way towards the foul line. And now there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, Kyle made a nice play down there, down that third base line. Like you said, wasn't hit very hard off the bat at Giannini, but it was hit hard enough that Sukanik was easily going to be in there at second, so Carnahan just went over the first to make sure he could get the sure out there.
And Tyler Pagano comes to the dish. He's 1 for 3 today. He's gone on twice. Got on with a fielder's choice. Back in the first, double to start the 4th, and then flew out to right his last at bat. That was in the 5th. First pitch to Pagano. That one right down the center for a strike. Thank you for listening to Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, as we're in the bottom of the 7th here at Bob Wren Stadium in Athens, Ohio, between the Scouts and the Copperheads. 0-1 pitch fouled out of play on a line from Tyler Pagano, right fielder from Oakland University in Michigan, trying to work from behind an 0-2 with 2 outs. This game between these two teams, winner gets 3rd place in the league. Scouts came into today number 3 in the league standings. 0-2 pitch from Aldridge, and that one low. Good eye that time from Pagano as it bounces into the mitt of Zach Wiley.
And that was exactly what he did to Sukanik. Got up on him 0-2, then threw a breaking pitch in the dirt and worked all the way back to full count, so hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Aldridge looks at Sukanik on second, throws home, and that one misses outside. So now it is even up at 2-2. Good at bat from Pagano. Six runners have been left on from the Copperheads in scoring position. That was foul behind us. And we'll do it again, even at 2-2 with 2 outs. 7 runners left on base on islands total for the orange and white. I mean, that's an incredible number, 6 in scoring position. They cannot score. And this inning will be 7, and they cannot, as Aldridge strikes out Tyler Pagano as Jason Sukanik yet again left stranded on second base. Second time he's been stranded on second today.
So good job from Ben working around the little mini jam he created for himself after allowing Sukanik to get on base with a walk, and then he advances second on the ground ball out from Tony Giannini, and then he gets Pagano to go down on strikes. That's Ben's 4th strikeout of the day. Again, still no action out in the Scouts bullpen, so I have to think he's coming back out for the 8th inning, if nothing else.
And we do have a pitching change from the Southern Ohio Copperheads. We'll have another righty as Connor Bowers comes into the game. He's a 6'3 righty, 180 pounds out of Miami University, a sophomore, originally from Birmingham, Michigan. And that'll end the day for Christian Botter. He went 3 innings. He gave up 3 runs, all of them earned. He gave up 3 hits, all of them back in the top of the 7th inning. 2 of them on the home run variety. Did have 3 strikeouts. Total of 5 walks, I believe. Yep, 5 walks. 4 in the 5th and then 1 in the 6th. So that's going to increase his ERA by quite a bit. For the 3rd pitcher of the day, the Scouts have seen Bowers comes into today with a 4.61 ERA. Second consecutive MAC pitcher we've seen as Bowers is a Red Hawk from Miami. This is his 8th appearance, all out of the pen. 13 2/3 innings pitched. 10 strikeouts, 10 walks. Lee Solomon at the dish.
Lee Solomon will lead off this inning for the Scouts. First one's in there for a called strike. Then it'll be Miles Wright and Christian Binger.
0-1 pitch is swung and fouled out of play towards the Scouts bullpen. We do see some action. I could be wrong, but that looks like Thomas Wanning out there.
Yep. You can tell when it's Wanning because of A, his stirrups, and B, his low release, way sidearm.
0-2 pitch to Solomon. He just tips that one, and he stays alive at 0-2. Solomon today has had a rough outing, 0 for 4, and does have the team's lone error. Now 0-2 against the new pitcher, Connor Bowers, and that one's going to be blew towards right field and put away, so Solomon is now 0 for 5 after Tyler Pagano sits him down.
So Solomon's struggles will continue. He's 0 for 5 thus far. All of them were flyouts except for the fielder's choice in the double play he grounded into back in the third.
So I'm going to bring up Miles Wright. He's 0 for 3 today. Walked last time was the 5th walk at Christian Bonner, the last of his afternoon. This is the 3rd pitcher that Wright has faced.
And Giannini playing pretty deep at third. Wouldn't be surprised if I saw Miles lay down a bunt. First
pitch to Miles is in there for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. The Scouts lead by a score of 7-2. 3 home runs have been the difference today. A 3-run shot back in the 4th by David Gahn, and 2 solo home runs in the 7th by Kyle Carnahan and Levi Gilcrease. 0-1 pitch to Miles Wright is low for a ball. 1-1 to Connor Bowers. And Aldridge has gone 5 innings after Nick Street starts today with 2. That one inside for a ball. 2-1 now to Miles. Miles came in today with 11 walks in the year, now has 12 after being walked earlier. That one misses outside, so 3-1 to Miles. We'll see if he's taken here in the 3-1.
And Miles' last at bat, it was worked to a 3-run before he got on with the walk, so we'll see if history can repeat itself.
Out of 11, 12, 13 walks on the team, and then there's Christian Binger. That one's hit to deep left center field. Also making a chase at it, and he'll make the sliding grab. Ice cream cone that one as it stayed in the top of his glove on the slide. Best play we've seen in the field all day, and a very well-hit ball from Miles. We've seen a couple of well-hit balls from Miles to center field, but Chris Osborne's just been robbing him today.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. That was very well hit towards left center field, but part of a great field over there by Osborne and Bob Brent Stadium being a little farther back than some parks.
Christian Binger coming up to the plate. First pitch to Bing is in there for a strike on the day. Binger is 1 for 3. Single back in the 4th, walked in the 1st, 25th of the season, quarter century mark. Now misses low, 1-1 now. He swung on the second pitch, his last 2 at-bats, so I think he checked there on purpose. 1-1 now to Binger, and he swings at that one right by Coach Zach Gilcrease. You see his smooth moves as he just steps out of the way. Now I see him dancing out there. Electric sliding his way out of that one. I'm way too young for that reference. 1-2 now to Christian Binger. 2 outs, but I did dance to it in junior high gym, and that one's going to be lined towards right field. Christian Binger with his 2nd single of the afternoon.
A little bit of hilarity ensued down towards the Scouts bullpen. Thomas Wanning went to grab the foul ball that was hit off the bat of Christian Binger and tried to flip it over to Q McGrath and wasn't able to handle it. Almost fell out of play, so it was funny to see down there towards the Scouts bullpen.
Bunch of athletes down there, the Xenia Scouts. 2 outs now for Kyle Carnahan as he fouls it out of play deep behind us. Carnahan having another phenomenal day. Seems like a broken record recently for Mr. Hot Corner. He's 2 for 3 of a home run and a walk, so he's been on 3 out of 4 times. That pitch misses outside for a ball, even up at 1-1, and it looks like David Gaunt's day will not continue as Austin Orr is on deck. So it looks like David is going to be substituted. 1-1 to Carnahan. That's going to be fouled right to the right of the first base foul line. Lucky break for Carnahan. Charlie Waters was there, tried to pick it up, and retired Carnahan with 2 outs and the inning, but luckily for Scouts, it danced on the foul side of the line. 1-2 now to Carnahan. We'll see if we get to see Austin Orr. I imagine we will. If he comes into this game, we're here in the top of the 8th inning. That one hits Carnahan, and that's number 10 on the year. We're in double digits with hit by pitches. Kyle Carnahan strolls to first base.
Yeah, it's something we've seen a lot of from Kyle Carnahan, and Austin Orr will walk up to the plate, so he will officially come in as a pinch hitter for David Gaunt, the DH. So Gaunt's day will end 1 for 3 with a 3-run home run to break the Scouts' record of home runs. He now has 7 on the season, breaking the old total of 6.
Here comes Austin Orr, batting .273 on the year. A great day on Saturday. And his last start against the Cincinnati Steam went 3 for 6 and 2 RBIs and 2 bunt singles. Those RBIs came on a double. Runners on first and second now, and that one swung on tip backwards. 0-1 to Orr. Connor Bowers on the mound for the Copperheads. The third pitcher we've seen today, the second righty. Here comes the pitch to Orr, which is fouled backwards, a little behind that one. 0-2. Austin has missed a lot of games because of a shoulder injury. Still not allowed to play in the field and throw in competitive action. He was originally the team's shortstop. Binger on second after a single. Carnahan on first after being hit by his 10th pitch of the season. 0-2 with 2 outs. And that one right down the center for a strikeout. No doubt about that one, as Bowers gets his first strikeout to end the threat in the top of the 8th inning. So 2 left on for the Scouts. Are now up to 5 today. Only 2 of the in scoring position variety. Lance Morris will fact check me on that. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning as Thomas Wanning will come into the game.
So now we double check with our left on bases. I have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9. And I think, Terry, you got to remember that when there's a fielder's choice, that the lead runner might get out, but the guy would still be considered on because of the fielder's choice. So that's why it looks a little different than what you recorded.
Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. I'm also might have just missed him. There's a very good shot of that as Thomas Wanning comes to the game here in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to close it out. 5 strong innings from Ben Aldridge, Lance.
Yeah, Ben had himself a nice day on the mound. He came in relief, although it was more or less a start for Ben. He went 5 innings, had himself another good day, did allow a run to score, but other than that, another good outing from Ben, and that should help his ERA out a little bit, and he's also, of course, one of those Scouts pitchers on the edge of potentially being an all-star, so I think he helped his case with today's game.
Absolutely did. Now in sole possession of second lead in strikeouts. Thomas Wanning, the sidearm pitcher on the mound. First pitch is low to Brett Mpemba. And we're in the 5, 6, 7 batters here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mpemba 1 for 3 today with an RBI. Single last time he was up. 1-0 pitch is going to be swung on and missed. A lot of movement from Wanning on that one. Wanning from Xavier University down in Cincinnati. Comes in today with a 7.44 ERA. Now misses low for a ball, 2-1.
Looks like Joe Chase is heading out to the bullpen to get warmed up.
Last time we saw Wanning was against these Copperheads. That was on Thursday when he won player of the game. At 2-1. Misses outside, 3-1. Wanning fires, and that one's going to be fouled, tipped towards the Scouts' dugout. So 3-2. Excuse me, that first game was on Thursday. I misspoke, and that one is in there for a strike. Strikeout by Wanting, number 1 on the day and on the season. That's number 7.
Yeah, Wanting not much of a strikeout pitcher, like he said when we interviewed him last Friday after the game was done. He was our player of the game. He's a ground ball pitcher, so if he gets a strikeout, he'll take it, but not something he's going for on the mound.
That's going to bring up Chris Osborne. First pitch low for a ball, 1-0 from Wanting. A bunt attempt laid, a beautiful bunt attempt. Carnahan bare hands and throws to first, not in time. Bunt single from Chris Osborne. He's on for the second consecutive time, but a first hit of the day. He's now 1 for 4, but a beautifully laid down bunt single. Couldn't do it any better. See, that starts to rally here for the Copperheads with 1 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. One on, 1 out. That one misses outside for Wanting. Dances out of the zone. 1-0 now to the new batter, Stephen Hernan, who is 1 for 3 today. Flew up to Miles right in right field last time. 7-2 Scouts lead. That one swung and missed. Big swing from Hernan. 1-1 evened up to the new catcher in his 3rd game in the orange jersey. Osborne on first after the beautifully laid down bunt single. And that one in there in the zone for a strike. Wanting trying to continue his good streak against these Copperhead batters. Next pitch is going to be hit towards Lee Solomon at short. Picks up, steps on the shortstop, and in time. That was one of the most unconventional double plays I've ever seen. As Lee Solomon picks it up, bobbled it, stepped on the second base bag, was taken out by Chris Osborne, falling down, kind of just lobbed it towards Cale Giddings, his friend at first, and somehow was able to get Hernan out in time for a 6-3 double play.
I think he's going to get the Spidey Award just for staying in there on a tough double play opportunity. Basically got spiked there by Osborne as he was sliding into second, trying to throw Lee off of his track, but somehow that's another weight room example right there from Lee Solomon. The fact that he was still able to muscle that ball all the way over to Cale Giddings at first. Whenever we see him in the weight room, he always does full body workouts, does it every other day, and he's just a man among boys out there in that infield.
He looks like a milk truck. That's the best way I describe him. The man is 100% muscle, it seems, and that time taken out. You have to think about his first error of the game. Didn't want to get a second one as he bobbled that ball. That was right off the second base bag, a shade towards short. That's where he picked it up. Stepped on first base or second base after the bobble, and that's when he was taken out in a big way by Chris Osborne, who was sliding in, but almost like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hookshot type throw to first base, and Cale Giddings somehow got there in time. As the sun again is peeking out here at 7:54. This game started at 5:37, 2 hours and 17 minutes into this contest. A late night sun. 6 minutes before the top of the hour here in Athens, Ohio. Beautiful backdrop. You see the clouds and the Ohio University's campus, some of the dorm buildings, and
we have a new pitcher out there. Joe Bahalski will come into the game. Another guy from Oakland University, stands 5'10", 175. He will be a senior and is originally from Sanford, Michigan.
So a guy we haven't seen yet this year.
So Bahalski on the season. This is just his second appearance He pitched 2 days ago against the Licking County Settlers. Gave up 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, faced just 5 batters, so he has an ERA of 9 on the season and just that 1 appearance.
And the second Buchalski in the league, as there's one also on the Cincinnati Steam. So I'll see what he can do as he's the 4th pitcher being thrown out there from the Copperheads. And Scouts lead 7-2 going to the top of the 9th inning. Thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash. We talked about it earlier. The 3 best hitters on this Copperheads team, and at least average-wise, did not start today. Connor Callery, Ryan Rippey,
along with Ted Williams.
And Ted Williams, that was one. There was a third one. That was Ted Williams. Good help, Lance. And will we see them in the bottom of the 9th inning? That's the big question.
I don't think so.
Well,
5 runs is probably a little too many. Maybe if it was a 1 or 2 run game.
Now Cale Giddings up to the plate. 0 for 3 today. Did a walk back in the 5th. First pitch. Swung and missed. It was blown by him from Buchalski.
Yeah, Cale just quite couldn't catch up to that here.
Second pitch from the righty. That one inside for a ball. 1-1, evened up to the big man. The third Oakland University player we've seen today in Joe Buchalski, making his 2nd appearance. That one is lined right back up the middle, and Cale's going to get that first hit of the ball game.
And you knew Cale was itching to get that hit after grounding out a couple times and having a fly out to a deep part in center field to Osborne out there. So Cale finally gets on the board. Now Jonathan Bravo is going to come in as a pinch runner for Cale. So odds are we see, I would think, Lincoln come in and play first in the bottom of the 9th.
I think you'd be right. Unless they move White to first and Bravo to left field, which, I don't know. It seems like Lincoln to first makes a lot more sense in that situation. But we'll see. That's why they play the game. That's going to bring Levi Gilcrease, who homered last time, a solo shot, a deep shot to left field for his first home run of the season.
The pinch runner is Jonathan Bravo.
Bravo on first. A lot more speed than big man Cale Giddings. First pitch from Gilcrease. In there for something, as we had no call from the home plate umpire. There it is. It's a ball. Doesn't make much of a call at home plate.
No, he does not. It's been very, very irritating.
It is. Makes it difficult for us here at the press box. That one's going to be lined towards second. Zell. He gets it to short and is dropped.
Fielder's choice, and Bravo will be safe on second, and he didn't have complete control, so ruled it safe.
That's going to be an error on Joe Becht, the 2nd error of the day for the Copperheads. So Gilcrease on with a fielder's choice, and that brings up Zach Wiley, who singled last time. No outs here on the top of the 9th. Scouts lead 7-2. That pitch misses outside from Buchalski. So 1-0 to Wiley. On the day, he's 1 for 3. The strikeout and also walked, so he's been on 2 of 4 times today. Pretty successful afternoon for Mr. Zach Wiley. As Lance mentioned earlier, has half his season hits against this Copperheads team. Bravo on second, Gilcrease on first. And no outs here on the top of the 9th. 7-2 Scouts. 1-0 to Wiley. That one's going to be fouled way out of play. Do it again at 1-1. Joe Buchalski's came into this game. Cale getting started off this inning with a single. This pitch ran for by Jonathan Bravo, who got on second on the air from Joe Becht. And Gilcrease got on with that fielder's choice. Now Zach Wiley with a 1-1 count. Watches that one go by for a strike on the outside corner. 1-2. Scouts looking for their 3rd victory in a row would get that winning streak. Last loss came against this Copperheads team back at Grady's Field in 10 innings. That one low in the dirt for a ball, even up at 2-2. Thomas Wanting now on the mound for the Scouts will probably come back. Or maybe not. Maybe Joe Chasen will come in. We don't know. Again, you have to keep watching to find out, folks. Runner on second and first in Bravo and Gilcrease. No outs. Even count at 2-2 for Zach Wiley, who got the start behind the plate today. Bahalski from the set, looks at second, now back at home. He fires. That one's way up top. Evened up at 3-2. Excuse me, full count 3-2. It can't be even. I thought I was doing better on my math because earlier I did some quick additions on the fly of Kyle Carnahan. Now I don't know what an even number is. Nah, that's going to drop me down a peg. Full count now to Zach Wiley. Swan and miss. Double steal. And Bravo is out. So the double play on the strikeout and caught stealing from Bravo. Gilcrease will steal second. So a strikeout and caught stealing at third from Bravo was a very close play, but nice throw by Hernan to get him out. Gilcrease will be in scoring position at second for Wyatt Hogan, who's 0 for 3 today with a walk. He struck out his last 2 times. First pitch is low in the dirt. Good stop by Hernan, or Gilcrease will be on third base right now. 1-0 to Wyatt. Got his 12th walk of the season earlier today. Polsky looks at second, now back home. He throws, and that one's up top, so 2-0 to Hogan. That was the 6th strikeout of the day between these 4 Copperheads pitchers. 1 for Blackburn, 3 for Botter, 1 for Bowers, and now 1 for Bohalski. 2-0 pitch, and that one's going to be chopped over towards third base. Giannini will pick it up, throw to first, and low, but dug out again by Charlie Waters, and that will retire the Scouts in the top of the 9th. So they get 2 on after the error by Joe Becht. And then after a strikeout caught stealing double play and a ground out from Wyatt Hogan, the Scouts finish out the day with 7 runs as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And Thomas Wanting will be back on the mound. It will not be Joe Chasen. So thank you for sticking around to find out.
Jason is still out in the bullpen, however, so if they do need some damage control, they could go to Joe to finish it out.
And Jonathan Bravo will be in left field, and Wyatt Hogan will be on first base, something we did talk about. Didn't think we'd see, but that's the rotation we had. Everything else looking pretty normal for the Scouts. Everyone in their normal positions after Cale Giddings was pinch ran for from Jonathan Bravo back in the top of the 9th inning. Of course, Wyatt Hogan played left today, but back at Hendrix College is a first baseman, and we have seen Wyatt at first base a number of times this year. It's his natural position. So not playing out of position is Hogan, as Thomas Wanting tries to complete his 2nd inning and finish out the game against the Copperheads. Wanting had his best game of the season against the Copperheads in their Scouts 3-2 loss against the team at home. I was back on Thursday night, and he went 4 2/3 in that one of unearned ball. An error really cost the team in that game.
So now coming up in the bottom of the 9th for the Copperheads will be Joe Becht, Charlie Waters, and Trevor Izell, and that's, of course, if nobody pinch hits.
That's a very good point, Lance. Now that one goes way outside for a ball. I have no idea if we see any pitchers. Well, we do see Charlie Waters on deck, so we know he will not be pinch hit for, but we'll see. And Trevor Ezel's going to come up to the plate as Joe Becht takes the first one for a ball. Becht, last time he was up, had that RBI double. 1 for 3 today. That pitch up there high as I like Becht was going to lay down the bunt. 2-0 now to the shortstop. He just had an error on the top of the inning. Here comes the 2-0 from Wanting. That one misses high as well. Now 3-0 to Becht. Again, Thomas 4 2/3 against this team on Thursday night. 1 run in the 10th inning due to an error. Only gave up 4 hits in that time, and that was by far his longest outing of the season. 3-0, and that one's low, and 4 straight balls will put Becht on first base. And we'll have to see if Becht is on the move. Oh, Charlie Waters at the plate.
Becht with a lot of steals on the season, 8, and has been caught 3 times, so definitely could be on the move after hustling down to first after the walk.
He's a guy with only 13 hits on the year, so he's stealing almost every single time he gets on. Now one's going to be lined towards right field in front of Miles Wright. Misplays it, but Becht's going to stay right there on second base. So the first 2 batters are on, and we do see Joe Chasen start warming up. Thomas Wanting a little bit of trouble here as he's put on the 8-9 hitters.
So 2 guys on now. Brings up the leadoff guy in Trevor Azell. So gonna have to see if Wanting can fight back, because like we said, the last time out he did very well against the Copperheads, and it was easily his best outing of the year. And now Coach Cates is going to out to talk. Thomas Wanting, no motion to the bullpen, so we would think you stick with Wanting for now.
I mean, he's got some cushion. Scouts lead 7-2, no outs here of 2 on in the bottom of the 9th inning. Any more, you probably go to Chase and see him try to close it out. On deck will be Jason Sukanik, so it doesn't look like we'll see any substitutions.
Because if you're the Scouts, this is already the 3rd pitcher you've used today. Probably don't want to use 4 if you don't have to, with the litany of games we're going to have this week. Game every single day for the rest of the week, and then the doubleheader on Saturday to cap off the series against Northern Ohio. There'll be a long All-Star break in between that. Have a couple of Scouts players playing in the All-Star game, of course, a week from tomorrow on Tuesday, the 21st. And then we'll have that weekend series with Galleon after that before we find out where the Scouts are going to be at in the playoff hunt.
Absolutely right, Lance. Only 2 home outings left.
3 home games.
Home games, 2 home outings. Yes, 2
Yes.
home outings. As tomorrow, the Scouts will be back home to take on the Ironman, then a double header. So 2 games on Saturday. So if you want to catch the Scouts, it's either tomorrow or Saturday. That one's going to be line pass Carnahan. Jonathan Bravo will pick it up in left field as the ball kind of dies. Throws home, but it'll be cut off. And the RBI single from Ezell cuts the lead to 7-3. And Coach Case is going to come out, and Joe Chase is going to come in the game. I imagine, well, he stood on the top, and
He's thinking about it.
Definitely was thinking about it, but he's going to keep Wanting in there. He's definitely struggling here in the bottom of the 9th. Lead cut to 4. Tying run now sitting on deck in Tony Giannini. Runners on first and second. No outs here in the bottom 9. Scouts up 7-3 now. That one goes low. With the RBI single from Trevor Ezell. And that one up top, so 2-0 now. Who's Jason Sukanik, who is a great day here at Bob Wren Stadium. He's 2 for 3 off a couple singles and a walk, which was his last at bat. So 2-0 now. Here comes the pitch, and that one a bit low.
Was it, though?
So
I don't know about that.
Thomas Wanting, the sidearm pitching righty from Xavier University, on the mound. And his Nike cleats. Here comes the pitch. And that one misses, so 4 straight balls for a walk.
And that's going to be it for Wanting. As soon as that ball crossed the plate area, Coach Gates was already starting his walk.
And something we've talked about all year long. Wanting does great usually after 1 inning, and his last time he did great for 4 2/3, but Coach Casey said more of a setup guy. He did that job perfectly in the 8th inning, doing 1, 2, 3, gave up a bunt single, but then got the double play. But now, bases loaded, 1 run's already come across the board. 2 walks this inning. Now, in Wanning's day after inning pitch and an earned run, and all 3 of these runs will be earned to Wanning as Tony Giannini steps up to the plate. He represents the tying run, and he leads the team in home runs this year with 3.
Giannini, not exactly the guy you want coming up to the plate with the bases loaded now. So you got to wonder what we're going to see from Chase. Because like we say every time, he's very hit or miss when he is on the mound. We've seen games where he can't get out of an inning, and we've seen games where he strikes out the side. So really hit or miss with Joe. So we're going to have to see which Joe Chase we get today on the mound.
Joe Chasen from Hillsdale College on the mound for the Scouts. A little bit about Tony Giannini. He's had 3 home runs this year. 2 of them have been at Bob Run Stadium. Chasing a 6'3" righty out of Hillsdale College, the same college as Will Cruz. We got the start and victory yesterday for the Scouts in that 3-2 win over the Steam. And Lance, what else can you tell us about Joe Chasen?
Well, Joe's 2-1 on the season. Each of those wins coming in Cincinnati against the Steam. In his last outing, he went 2 2/3, gave up just 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout on the season. A 5 ERA with 15 games he's appeared in, so this will be game 16, most on the team. Has 2 saves, 18 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 10 walks. And you look at some of the games Joe's been a part of where he struggled against the Monarchs on July 2nd. Gave up 3 earned runs, to the Joes on June 23rd. That was, of course, when Andy Young hit that go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th. That was Joe's first blown save on the season. And his other save was against Northern Ohio, and that was up in Lorain County on the neutral site game against Northern Ohio Baseball Club.
In that game on Saturday, Joe Chasen did have bases loaded late in that contest, up 11-10. That was with 2 outs. No outs here in the bottom of the 9th against the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Scouts up by a score of 7-3 for Tony Giannini. First pitch to the righty. That one's a bit high from Chasen, 1-0. And we do have a pinch hitter on deck in Ryan Rippey. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Chasen. That one hits him. And that's going to send home another run, make the game 7-4, and now the winning run is on first base with no outs. And what looks like an easy victory for the Scouts is now has a lot of danger. And that one sends home Charlie Waters, who singled earlier. Now Ezel on third, Sukanik on second, and Giannini on first. That run, of course, earned to Thomas Wanning. That's going to be Ryan Rippey.
Rippey coming in as a game as a pinch hitter, 3 for 9 against the Scouts.
Joe Chasen on the rubber, pitching from the stretch. First one to Rippey in the pinch hitting role. In there for a strike. Only 1 now as the crowd's becoming live here at Bob Wren Stadium. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Chasen blows it by Rippey. Scouts barely holding on to this 3-run lead with 3 runners on. The bases are chalked for Rippey at the plate with no outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Joe Chasen in the game. Here comes the 0-2. Swung and missed. Chasen blows it right by Rippey, who rips at that one but gets nothing. First out of the inning.
And that's a big out there. You have Rippey coming up to the plate. The Copperheads are all the momentum right there after they load up the bases. Rippey, one of the best hitters on this team, came into the day with a 325 average on the season. Of course, we mentioned 3 of their top hitters weren't in the starting lineup. Rippey, one of those 3, and he goes down on strikes for the first out of the bottom of the 9th.
He replaced Pagano, and now Brett Impemba, Pagano's Oakland teammate, At the dish, the lefty, Pagano, with bases loaded and one out. First pitch from Chasen. Outside corner for a strike. Joe looks like he has it going on now. Very aggressive. And Pemba struck out last time. He has 2 strikeouts on the day. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Bases chalk. Scouts up by 3. 7-4. Joe Chasen. 0-1 pitch. That one inside, and it hits him. The second batter, he's hit home run this inning. The score is 7-5 now. I don't see any activity in the bullpen, so I think Coach Case is going to live and die by the arm of Joe Chasen.
There's not many other pitchers you want to go to now in this situation. Really, just Tony Campbell would be the only other reliever that you'd think that he would potentially go to.
And Joey Levitt dealing with some back problems, a rotator cuff soreness. That one outside to the new batter, Chris Osborne. A bunt single last time, 1 for 4 today. Scouts only up by 2 now. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They were up 7-2 coming to the bottom of the 9th. Joe Chasen on the mound in this tough spot. 1-0 pitch is going to be hit towards left field, and that's going to get by Jonathan Bravo. 1 scores, 2 scores. He's going to bring it in to Lee Solomon, and the game is tied, and the lead is blown. 5 runs come across the bottom of the 9th, and it's unbelievable. Whoa, it was seemingly an easy victory for the Scouts. Looks like they are on the doorsteps of defeat.
Now who are they going to? Because he's going to the mound with a meeting, and it's another meeting in the inning, so he has to change his pitcher. Does that mean it's Tony Campbell? I don't know who else it would be.
I didn't see anyone out on the mound. Runners on first and third now. I see anyone out on the pen. After the 2 RBI single by Chris Osborne. And it's just unbelievable, Lance. 5 runs have come across in this inning. And it started off with Thomas Wanning, who really struggled, walked the first batter, Joe Beck, then gave Charlie Waters a single. Then Ezell a single, then walked Sukanik. So the first 4 all got on, and then a run scored. And Jason will be staying in the game.
I thought if you made it a second trip, another trip in the same inning, you have to take out your pitcher.
I'm not sure, Lance, but apparently the home umpire does not care. So that's going to bring up Steven Hernan in his 3rd game with the Copperheads, trying to get a walk-off hit. 1 out here. Double play ball is in effect with a speedy Osborne on first. Hernan at the plate. First pitch to him is being grounded. Foul towards Kyle Carnahan. 0-1. That one just danced on that side of the line. Joe Beck on deck as after Hernan, the Copperheads have batted around here in the bottom of the 9th. 2 runners on. Chasen throws, and that one misses low. 1-1. Scouts trying to avoid their 4th walk-off defeat of the season. One pitch with 1 out. That one's going to be hit to center field. Levi Gilchrist is going to get under it. He picks it up, throws home. Here comes the play at the plate. And it is not in time. A walk-off sac fly. The throw from Gilchrist can't get there, and the Scouts lose after giving 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and I can't believe it, Lance.
I can't believe it either, Terry. It seemed like the Scouts had this one all locked up. And then 6 runs in the bottom half of the 9th. Thought that Thomas Wanning could potentially come in and finish it. He wasn't able to get the job, so they go to Joe Chasen. And Joe just didn't have it working today. And like we said, he's really hit or miss, and it was more so miss than hit tonight.
It was, and for Thomas Wanning, who started off the inning and put Joe Chasen in that rough spot. Didn't know if Levi Gilchrist was going to get it across the plate because he has that cannon we've seen. Didn't think he got full strength on it because the wet grass here lost his footing a little bit, and just wow, 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. This game was well in hand, and the Scouts just couldn't close it out. Between Wanning and Chasen is a blown save for the Scouts, and wow, That's just heartbreaking. So we have to get a player of the game. And it's going to be Kyle Carnahan yet again. Kyle had a fantastic day. He got on 4 out of 5 times, scored 3 runs, including a solo shot and an RBI single, walked and scored as well. Finished the day 2 for 3, but again got on 4 times. His 10th hit bat of the year. You have to think the Scouts are really reeling after that one. You have to wonder what happened. After up 7-2, they've been rolling. Last run they gave up was in the 6th inning, and then it just collapsed on top of them.
That's absolutely right. It didn't seem like anything bad was going to happen going into the 9th inning. It seemed like they had everything under control, and then the wheels came off in a big way for the Scouts. And we'll have Kyle Carnahan, who's making his way over to us. He'll be our player of the game. It's his 4th time winning the award and the 3rd time in the last week.
Yeah, and you got to think it's a sour taste in the mouth of Carnahan. He's going to win player of the game, but after that 8-7 loss, the 4th walk-off of the year against the Xenia Scouts, and this one might hurt more than any of the others as they were up 7-2 and gave up 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll go back to the 9th where the Copperheads batted around to score those 6 runs, and it was Stephen Herndon in his 3rd game as a Copperhead with a sac fly RBI to deep center field that scored the winning run as Joe Beck started off the inning with a walk, and then Charlie Waters singled, Trevor Ezel singled home Beck for the 1st run, Zukanik was then walked, and then Giannini was hit and the bases were loaded. Strikeout to Ryan Rippey, and then Chris Osborne had a 2 RBI single, put runners on 1st and 3rd with a tie ball game, and then it was a sac fly from Stephen Herndon, that won the game for the Copperheads. Kyle Carnahan, we saw earlier, trying to make his way up to the press box, pretty far away from the field here. At Bob Wren Stadium, as we see him walking up now. And Lance, it's just a tough loss.
Yeah, it's absolutely a tough loss. No other way really to put it. You fall to the Copperheads. They one of the better teams in the league, and you had them by the ropes and just weren't able to get it done for the Scouts. So definitely going to be a tough pill to swallow.
So Kyle Carnahan will try to move his way through the busy press box here at Bob Wren Stadium. And we try to finagle our camera a bunch of cords. Yeah, that'll do it. Try to get closer to Kyle over here. And Kyle, what can you say after a tough loss like that? 6 runs giving up in the 9th inning. I know it's fresh in your mind, but what's going on in your mind right now?
Yeah, that was a tough way to lose. Credit to the Copperheads, man. They didn't give up, and yeah, they're a good team. They fought till the end, and just a good team. Credit to them.
Back when things were going right in that 2 home run inning, we saw your shot. That's the 6th of the year, and David Gaunt hit his 7th. That was actually the team record. Do you think David knew that he was getting the team record of number 7?
I don't know if he knew that or not, but man, that put a good swing on the ball, and that's great for him. He's been swinging it well lately.
And then talk about the solo shot from Levi Gilcrease. I think that might have been the furthest of the 3 of yours, and he just blew that one to left field.
Yeah, Levi crushed that ball. I think that's the farthest ball I've ever seen him hit, and man, thought it was going to clear that second net out there.
Personally today, you were 2 for 3. Also walked, was hit by pitch, the 10th of the year to lead the league. So what, I know it's a tough loss, but what can you make of your day personally here?
Well, just trying to find ways on base again, and got a couple hits, just got some balls to fall, and I like getting hit. So.
And it's a tough loss. How do you bounce back on the home game tomorrow against Lorain County Iron after the 4th walk-off loss of the season?
Yeah, it's tough. Never like to lose like that, but we got fighters, and we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Congratulations on player of the game.
Thanks, sir.
Kyle Carnahan again with an unbelievable day. 2 for 3, his 6th home run of the season. It was a solo shot. And we get Lance Morris back here on the headset. And I don't know, this one just feels different. It's not like the other ones where you can see it coming. It was so out of nowhere. You can see, all right, they got a couple runs, but I don't think anyone expected 6 runs to come across in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Like you said, the other walk-offs, you can kind of feel it in the air. They had more of a lead up to it. This one just came down like a ton of bricks, hit the Scouts right where it hurt. They weren't able to bounce back. They thought we could get another inning out of Thomas Swanning. That wasn't the case. They went to Joe Chasen, a proven closer, to try and close it out. Ends up with his 2nd blown save on the season. Not much you can say. There's a couple pitches left up in the zone. The Copperheads were able to hit them where they weren't able to in the earlier parts of the game.
Scouts playing a lot of baseball recently with a very shallow bullpen. You have to wonder if maybe the tired arms, as we saw Joe Chasen on Saturday, he pitched very well in that game against the Cincinnati Steam to get his 2nd victory of the year. Last time we saw Thomas Wanning, he pitched 4 2/3. So they're getting their work in, and maybe it's starting to get a little bit of fatigue on their arms, you have to think.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Well, like we mentioned, games all across the last part of the week with rain out last Thursday against the Copperheads. That's why we played today as a makeup. And then we have games all the way through the rest of the week. I don't know what these guys are going to do with the bullpen. It was low today, and there's games going forward through the rest of the week, and then the doubleheader on Saturday. They're going to really have to hope that their starters can go very deep into games. Otherwise, this bullpen will get depleted very quickly. That was Thomas's first outing since, actually he pitched on Saturday as well, but before then, like we said, had the 4+ innings on Friday, and today had it through the 1st inning, but then was asked to go into the 9th and just didn't have his pitches.
And you're right, and maybe someone like Lincoln Reed might get some time on the mound. We saw him earlier this year as a 3-year Scout has thrown. We were told at the beginning of the season 6 innings of unearned ball, so we might see Lincoln. They need someone. After losing Jordan Schaefer, who was coming out of the pen, it just haven't been getting a lot of help. John Crawford's the probable start tomorrow. Hopefully he'll be there on the mound, but exactly not sure. Are we on Crawford's start for tomorrow? It's going to be interesting. See how the Scouts get through these next few days, as they have 2 against Lorain County, and then 2 on the road against Grand Lake up in Salina. So 3 straight road games. That's going to be a tough stretch in itself. And then 2 more back home on Saturday alone. So 6 straight ball games after tonight, and we've been playing baseball ever since that rain out on Friday. So it's tough. It's a tough stretch, but we're going to see what the team's made of.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. We're going to have to see what these guys can do. We've seen the hitting come alive today. It was very well 3 home runs. We haven't seen that in a game all season. So hitting is not the problem. It's just a matter of what the starters can do and if the bullpen's there to pick them up if they do struggle a little bit.
All right, well, one final time to score here at Bob Wren Stadium in beautiful Athens, Ohio. Copperheads get the victory, 8-7, 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Thank you for listening, Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash. We're here for your coverage of every single game of the Xenia Scouts this summer. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 7:05 at home at Grady's Field against the Lorain County Ironmen. Copperheads jumped. The Scouts are now 3rd in the league standings. Scouts dropped down to 4th, maybe 5th. Maybe they're behind Grand Lake. Now, we're not sure. We're going to have to look at the percentage points later. It is neck and neck, folks. But they'll be in action again tomorrow. Be sure to be following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as we have updates on the team every single day. And XeniaScouts.com, where we write our daily recaps of the game stories. And that's going to do it here. It's a heartbreaking loss, but we'll be back at it tomorrow. So for Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, good night, and God bless, folks.